You're listening to the Gamecasters.
Natalie, Jeff, and Ryan are the Gamecasters, and they do a board game show, inboxes, and nooks and games, and top 5 lists, and sometimes there's fart jokes.
Welcome back, gamers, to another installment of the podcast that demands your attention with promises of board game discussion, then subverts and betrays you with talk instead about butts and poop. Butts and poop.
Yo, you shit in your hand, bro?
But still, back you come, like some sort of idiotic moron who thinks maybe this time they'll finally tell me how good SETI is or where I can play the newly announced Spiel des Jahres game, Crackle a Rackle. Only to be bamboozled, hoodwinked, and gold-bricked by us time after time. Or maybe you're all just fetishized creeps who can't get enough poop and pee talk, so you loudly tell your spouse, hey, I'm going to go listen to my board game podcast again, as you close the door to your soundproof office and fat as you hear,
Yo, you shit in your hand, bro?
over and over again. Well, either way, hello. I'm the shit-flinging captain of this crew of dung beetles, Ryan, and with me is Natalie, the scooper of my pooper, and Jeff, the currently vomiting. We're back yet again with episode 153 of this bullshit, and while we now fully realize why we didn't win Golden Geek, we also don't give a shit. The only shit we give is...
Yo, you shit in your hand, bro?
You guys, I keep falling down the stairs.
What?
I have never fallen down the stairs.
He does.
Which ones? Like
in my
all the
entire
stairs?
life.
So far, 2 sets of stairs.
Yeah, 2 sets of
In
stairs
your
in our
home
house.
or
Yeah.
like outside?
In and around the home.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never fallen down anything in my 42 years on this earth, other than that time I fell down the rabbit hole when I first discovered pentatonics. But twice now, separated only by a few months, I've fallen down the stairs. And yes, that really is just a cry for help for Natalie beating me physically.
I didn't know. I know what your house looks like. Obviously, I need to know what stairs.
Okay, so the first set of stairs I fell down were the outside stairs.
Okay.
It was
The porch
winter.
steps.
Oh, I saw
and
that.
they
You
were
sent me that
icy.
video.
Okay, yeah, there is a video that
Yep.
exists.
That was a bad one.
I have that just in
He
case.
was scraped up.
Ooh.
Yeah, that
I
looked
have
like
that
it hurt.
just in case I ever read. In case something
something.
happens to you that I'm like, hey guys,
Yeah,
Jeff
right.
D. Oh yeah,
yeah.
Look what I got.
You
bitch.
just sent a picture of Natalie in the Discord. If that was my face, I'd be like, well, check this video out.
Yeah, it was icy outside, and I was wearing shoes with no tread. The most recent time was down
Crocs.
the
He was
basement
wearing
stairs.
Crocs.
Well, they had no tread. I said that. I said shoes with no
In
tread.
the ice.
Okay, Crocs and ice. Okay, so you fell down the basement stairs.
So I just recently fell down the basement stairs. Both times there was nothing I could do once I began falling. Both times I screamed "fuck" 100 times at the top of my lungs over and again.
Did you fall from the landing to the bottom or from the top to the middle?
The
You know what I
landing to
mean?
the bottom.
Okay.
Yes,
That was
both
much
times
shorter.
I felt like I
Yeah,
must have
that's shorter.
severed something and was only able to retain the gift of walking through pure adrenaline, like women lifting cars off of their children or something. Both times it was like searing white hot pain for 10 minutes, then completely fine. Like the world's longest brain freeze. Both times I was left with a vomit-inducing bruise that had the opposite effect with women that a really cool scar does.
Yeah.
I'm terrified now to walk.
Yeah. PTSD.
My entire house
Yeah.
is stairs.
I know.
There's stairs literally out in and out of every door and room in our house. There's stairs.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go. There's not stairs. I was like down here last night. I was like about to go upstairs, and I was like, that means I'm going to have to come down though. I was like,
Maybe you just have to live down here.
I know. I was like, do we have to move into a ranch? I don't know that I can do.
That's
I'm
right.
like, I guess I'm of age where
Right.
you never know.
When Ryan turns 43, we have to turn.
There's like a 30 Rock joke where Liz Lemon is saying to the this girl friend of hers, she's like, yeah, once I turn 30, every time I get in the bathtub, I'm like, careful.
Oh, yeah.
Careful. And I forever I'm like, I have the balance of a cat. Like I always land on my feet, and now I'm like I'm like a
Now when you use
I'm like a
stairs,
cartoon character.
You got to be like 1 step, 2 step, 1 step.
It doesn't
2
matter.
step.
I was like holding on to the railing when it happened. Not
You
the second.
were?
Not the second time. The first time, or maybe I wasn't the first time.
We could check the
No.
video.
We can check the video. It's on. We have documented proof. But I feel like I couldn't have caught myself. And it's like it takes 1.5 seconds for me to go from falling to fell.
Yeah.
And in that
Less than
time,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm
No.
going to die.
Falling down
I'm
the
going to
stairs
kill
is
myself.
scary because, like you said, there's like when it's happening, you're like, I can't do anything. Like I just have to like let it
Yeah,
happen.
there's not. It's like throwing up. It's like well, when it's happening, you can't stop it until it's over.
Yeah.
And it's awful.
I've done that before where like your like foot just like flies up in the air and you're just like land on your back.
Yeah.
And
Like a
you're,
cartoon
now you're
character.
suddenly going down the stairs.
That's the least kind of going
I
down.
fell
I
down
wanna
the
do.
stairs. I fell down the stairs once with Jack,
With him.
holding him. So this is like going down to our basement. We just have like the 12 or 13 like straight steps down the basement.
Yeah.
And I probably went down 10 of them.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Like my heel, I was holding him. He was young. So I was holding him like a kid, right? And my heel went, I can, in my head, see myself missing that
the step.
And my heel went down and I basically just fell on my ass. And I was like a
protect
surfboard
him.
for him.
Yeah.
He was just like on me and I just like went all the way down to the bottom. It was just like,
I'm dead.
Yeah.
oh, and Jack was fine.
Yeah.
He was like, let's do that
But
again.
like,
Yeah.
That was great.
It was like, oh my gosh, that hurt. And you're just like,
Devin, was she there? Did she hear?
yeah, she came.
She was like, oh my God,
right,
what's
she's like, yeah.
happening?
And then you just like start to kind of like move things. You're like, okay, I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Did I break my back? Can
Because
I
in that
feel my toes?
In that first like adrenaline rush, you're not gonna like feel it, right? And then
Right.
you're like, okay, am I okay? Like, all right, let me move my fingers and toes and
Yeah.
feet. But yeah, that was.
It was so both of these times I fell, it was violent because I didn't like. I imagine it wasn't like what happened to you. I didn't like slip
Slide,
and then
yeah.
bump, 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 bump. It was like my feet are out from under me, and then I smash
Yeah, that
into
hurt.
the
Land
stairs
on
on
your
my
back.
lower back, and they both were the exact same
Yeah.
thing. The one
shittier is,
outside
like,
was way worse.
You try to like catch yourself sometimes, then you hurt something else.
yeah.
Right.
You fall and catch yourself with your hands, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, let's break my wrist.
You always
Okay.
hear about them saying like in a car accident when you tense up, that's when you break stuff.
Yeah,
But how are you
Yeah.
not going to?
Well, that's
how
why
are you not going to
people
tense
who-
up?
right.
Like drunk drivers usually
Yeah,
don't
they'll
get hurt
survive.
because their body's more relaxed.
Yeah, they're just
They're loosey-goosey.
They're just like
Right.
flailing around. Do you guys believe in any conspiracy theories? Is there any conspiracy theory that
I'm
you
gonna ask
subscribe
something
to?
else.
Yeah, I can probably come up with.
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah, like the Illuminati or flat Earth or the female orgasm, stuff like that. The moon landing.
I mean, none of those
9/11 was an inside job. Yeah, none of those are true. Area 51 aliens, reptile overlords, Bigfoot, abominable snowman, Elvis is still alive, the Loch Ness monster. Paul McCartney died in 1968 and was replaced by a lookalike. That thing where Beyonce, you have to like thank her on stage or else she'll get you. She'll kill you somehow. Have you heard that one?
No.
Yeah, you're right. I have.
Do you remember the thing, Jeff, where Taylor Swift won the Grammy and
Kanye West did that.
and she was like,
yeah, okay.
saying, and then Kanye's like, whoa. There's a conspiracy theory that in what he was really doing was protecting and saving Taylor Swift because she wasn't thanking Beyonce, and so he went up on the stage, grabbed the mic, and was like, you did great, but Beyonce had the best. So there's a lot of like, a lot of like artists, like musical artists that are like they have nothing to do with like
Right.
R&B, and they'll thank Beyonce in the speech.
they play a bunch of them. Like it'll be like Adele in her speech thanks Beyonce, and it's just like random people.
So there's a
like bunch
conspiracy
of
theory
clips, yeah.
that they're doing it because she's a
you
member
don't
of the
thank
Illuminati.
Beyonce, she's gonna
and
get you.
she will. Yeah, if you don't thank her, she's
Yeah.
going to kill you.
I don't think I believe in much of anything.
Well, here
now that you're saying all
No,
that,
God, no. Are you kidding me? I don't believe in anything either. I'm a
Well,
nihilist.
the birds are drones.
I believe in birds are not real. Birds are robots. Or
I've been
dinosaurs
pooped
aren't
on by a
real.
robot.
Yeah.
Yes, robot
Yeah.
poop. Everybody poops.
The one that
shit in your
I
hand, bro?
want to be, why I really want to be true, is the one where comedian Tom Segura, I think it's Tom Segura, says that Garth Brooks is a serial killer. Have you heard that one?
I have.
You've
Yeah,
told me
there's
that.
something where like he like cancels. He's been in like towns where these murders have happened during his like
during where
events or
his
something.
tours
Yeah.
are. Yeah. Well, and then there's stuff like he has his alter ego Chris Gaines, and so people were like, oh, is he trying to like leave Garth Brooks behind as he kills all these people?
Scranton Strangler.
Yeah, it's like I would love that if that was true, but I don't know, it'd be satisfying for some reason.
I don't know
Or what
if I
about
have any, like big. I don't know if I believe in any like really giant ones.
what about the Mandela effect one?
Oh
So,
yeah, that's
The
true.
Mandela effect one, like for instance,
That's real.
What do you mean it's real?
No, tell me what it is.
have
No.
something
I
about
want
that.
to know what you think.
Is that like the?
What do you mean it's real?
Is that like the Shazam thing?
Shazam?
Okay,
Yeah.
I have a continue, but this is relevant.
No, go.
As of last night.
This is all I'm doing is giving you threads to pull. Pull this one.
Okay, so you know how the Shazam thing there was when we were kids.
Well, hold on. Explain what the Shazam thing is.
So just
that's what
explain.
I'm about to
explain
do.
what the Mandela effect.
Oh, do you know? Yeah. Explain the Mandela effect first.
It's like, okay, how do
Nelson
I explain
Mandela.
it? I don't know why it's called the Mandela effect. I know it's like a thing where like there's certain things out in the world where
Large groups of people
large group of people swear that
they remember something differently than it really is.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a movie when we were kids, like in the 90s or something, called Shazam.
Well,
I mean, no, there
supposedly,
wasn't.
allegedly.
I've seen it. I had it on tape.
okay,
but
allegedly.
the thing with Shazam, though, is nobody
don't believe anything,
remembers
huh?
if it was Shaq or Sinbad who played Shazam.
No, Shaq is in one called Alakazam or something,
No.
right?
Listen,
Yes, dear.
Oh,
this came up. I was at a wedding last night. This came up last night for some reason. And I said, oh, like Shazam. And no one knows if it's Shaq or Sinbad. And this
I don't think
guy.
that's the thing.
Yeah. Because everyone's like.
No, I think the
Shaq
thing
is
is
in a movie called Kazam.
Kazam. Everybody assumed that Sinbad was in a movie called Shazam,
Yeah.
which he wasn't. The movie is Kazam with
Kazam
Shaq.
with
But-
Shaquille
Oh,
O'Neal.
But
is that what it
yes,
is? It's
that's
not
what
the
it is.
actor?
No, you're
It's the
completely
movie?
wrong.
Okay.
You're
The movie
very,
doesn't
very.
exist.
You embarrassed yourself. You embarrassed the James name
See,
last
it's
night by
happening
saying
to
that. What the actual Mandela effect is, if people swear that they had they saw a Sinbad movie called Shazam in the early '90s.
and he was,
I
like,
thought
dressed
that
like a
too.
genie
Yeah, he was like a
and-
genie. I
Yeah.
thought that too. Apparently, it's not a thing.
But Natalie said she had the movie.
That's what she says.
Well, now maybe it was Kazam.
Okay, hold on. So, there's also the Berenstein Bears.
Oh yeah, or
It's
not.
actually the Berenstain Bears, but all these people are like, no, it's the Berenstein Bears, but not. But it's if you look it up, it's the Berenstain
How do you
Bears.
spell it?
AIN.
Yeah, you just can't read.
No
we just can't
way.
read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So here's the conspiracy.
believe
Okay,
you.
the conspiracy theory is that when the Large Hadron Collider was built, they switched it on, and it created like an alternate dimension where things are very slightly different. So Shazam poofed away. Berenstein Bears became Berenstain Bears, and all the other Mandela effect possibilities that happened that a large swath of the population believes happened and remembers now doesn't, because this Hadron Collider was switched on and caused, an alternate
What
universe.
year was that?
Not that long ago, right? 20 years ago, maybe. I'm just
know what
talking
that
about
is.
my
So
ass.
with the blow up of the internet. essentially.
When
But,
did the Hadron Collider go on?
Okay.
2008. So yeah,
Oh,
almost.
so not like when the internet was created.
no.
This is
No, like-
way out. Okay.
yeah.
Weird.
That is
So,
so weird.
I've
Look,
seen it
it
with,
even
like-
says, well, many people have vivid memories of a 1990s movie called Shazam starring Sinbad.
I honestly thought I did too.
I swear that I did.
Well, I
it
can't. I
existed.
can't say I swear.
And it
I
says-
really thought it
it says
did.
it doesn't exist. Sinbad himself has even stated he was never in such a movie.
Right. But
Why though?
But he was until 2008.
he was
apparently.
until 2008, and then when the Hadron Collider switched on, it ripped
So-
in the. So could you buy into any conspiracy theories like this?
Yeah, why not? Sure. I mean, remember there's like the cornucopia with the Haynes.
Yeah.
I've heard that one, but people
That's
have
like
proven
Fruit of the
that
Loom.
people have. Fruit of the Loom. Is that what it is?
Are we talking Mandela effect still?
Yeah.
yeah, it's like,
correct.
Is it just fruit or is it fruit with a cornucopia?
Right.
Well, the Mandela effect. So there's this. I don't know. Did you guys watch this season of Black Mirror or no?
No, no,
Okay.
I haven't seen it
It's
yet.
first of all, I think it maybe is the best season from top to bottom.
Really?
There's a couple really, really great ones, but I don't think there's like a
stinker?
dud. You
There's no
know,
stinker
and
in
that's
there?
great.
Cool.
Okay, so there's this one. This is not a spoiling thing, but one of the episodes is sort of about this sort
Mandela
of effect.
effect?
Okay, but what is really cool in this show is so there's this restaurant called in the show it's called Bernie's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then halfway through the episode, it's called Barney's. And this girl is like, no, it's Bernie's.
And they're like,
everybody's
no,
no, it's
of course
fucking
it's
Barney's.
It's Barney.
So she like looks it up and it's Barney's. And she's like, no, it's Bernie's.
No way.
Right? She remembers it's Bernie. Right? So it's this back and forth. But what's cool is the creators of the show have released 2 different episodes. So on my TV, when I watched it, that show started.
yeah.
That thing started
we knew
as.
about that.
Did we?
Did I already say that before?
No, I remember sitting on the couch and you were like, there's
Let me finish.
Black Mirror episodes. There's 2 different episodes that are the same episode with like slight differences.
When I watched it, it went. She thought it was Bernie's, and it changed to Barney's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people have the other
Dave
way.
watched it. It started as Barney's, and it switched to Bernie's. So it was like it created that effect where like if you're talking to Dave about it,
He's like, no.
no,
You're right. You have it
started as
backwards.
Barney's. No, it was Bernie's. And
No, you have it
It was
backwards.
Barney's. So it was just kind of cool to like that they did that in this.
They Mandela
And I don't know
affected.
the idea of
Yeah.
like how they separate the episodes, or if I watched it 10 times, would I get different ones every single time, or is it like tied to my account? I don't really know.
So
Yeah.
I think
that was kinda
that's
interesting.
if I believe is a strong word. If I were to buy into, I don't like saying any of this. The Mandela effect one seems the most peculiar to me because I feel like I have firsthand testimony. You know, I'm like, I feel like I would have remembered it saying Berenstain Bears. I had all those books.
Yeah,
I had
that's
all
true.
those fucking
all
books.
those other things are like, do you believe Bigfoot exists? Because
Right.
like you've never had any Bigfoot
you're right.
experience.
There's no
Challenging your
personal
but like
memories.
this is like stuff that you've come across in your life.
But see, when I think about all of them, it's logical as well for me to be like, well, I just must have been wrong.
Yeah, or someone just read it as Berenstein and you never looked at the title.
My
and you
parents
just kept
called it the
reading and
Berenstain
reading.
Bears, and so I called it the
literally
Berenstain
everyone
Bears.
called it that.
I feel like there was a show, the Berenstain Bears. I feel like they didn't say the Berenstain Bears. Maybe they did.
I don't even remember that was
Maybe
a
they
show.
just
Yeah, it
had
was a
an
show.
accent.
Are you sure that was a show?
Oh my god!
I don't remember that being a show either.
Oh, there was this episode I was watching of last season's White Mirror where I think it was
White
really.
Mirror.
What do you think it's called?
Black
What's up with you
Mirror.
guys?
Because he's switching.
I was
switching.
I did the switch.
Yeah,
I
a little
switched it. I did the
switcheroo.
switcheroo.
School's getting close to being done. That is
my gosh, I
amazing
know.
because
Wow.
it needs to be done. I feel like I'm.
Going crazy.
You're gonna
I need
retire
to be
as well?
a week. Yeah, I need to be a week closer to summer.
Because you're feeling that murderous rage
I just
inside
am
of you.
like, this is where it just keeps going.
What's your last
If somebody
does this
murdered
keep going?
their whole entire classroom,
like-
would you be like, "That's wrong," but I understand.
But I get it. like,
man.
like you should go to jail. But
like sometimes
I
there's these
get it,
these
man.
videos of like teachers on TikTok or Instagram and they like just lose it, and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you shouldn't
like-
do that, but
Yeah.
Okay.
You pushed a kid in the hallway. Yeah, I understand.
yeah, that makes sense.
Like, yeah, he probably deserved it. Like, you go in the comments, like, hi, Darren. No, well,
Yeah.
okay,
Well,
you don't know
be
him.
in there.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah,
him.
you be in there for a
But,
while.
man, it's like it just needs to be. It needs to be done.
When's your last day?
The 11th.
So
what I know,
Are
there's
they just
like-
is it a terrible class this year?
Yeah, I think so. It's also just like, I think there's just failure in a lot of different top-down things that's happening.
Are you looking to switching?
I don't. Yeah, kind of.
Really?
Yeah. This is the first time I've like actively looked for any. Like,
Now let me
job.
ask you this: switching careers entirely, or just leaving and maybe going to a different school?
Probably going to a different school. Just like.
Nobody from your school listens to this podcast.
Who
Right?
knows? We're gonna find out. I mean, I asked a handful of them for a recommendation letter.
What
anyway.
did Terry Derryberry have to say about it?
Terry Derryberry was in my room apparently.
He was there.
And
He was here.
there. And then Bill
You didn't
ran
have any
out
thoughts?
laughing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I just maybe need a change of scenery. I kind of like.
Yeah, you've been at the same place the whole time, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
this is 13
It's
years.
your first job out of college.
But there, like a lot of things would also have to like go right for me to move.
Yeah.
Be like,
I mean, you have
I
a
can't
job,
take a
so
giant pay cut. I can't. I'm
You
not
can't go
driving an
super
hour.
far.
I'm not doing any of that stuff.
Well, let me ask you this question. Let's say you got another job. Would you relocate?
I don't know. That would depend on.
Like move his house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, leave his house where it is, but move his family
Yes,
out
yeah.
of his house into a
that
new
would be
house.
that would again be like, what could we sell our house for? Where would we go? Right. And that would be
It's
that
gotta
would be a
really
different.
worth it, probably.
Yeah,
Because I'm
we're
sure
in a
you've thought
good
about-
situation right now, like in our house, in terms of like our interest rate's really low. We got the house for
and
cheap.
your
we
kids are
put a
still
lot-
really little. You don't need to
Yeah.
worry about space.
right. Everybody's got their own room. Like we're at that part is very like stable, which is good. But I don't know how far. Like I don't want to be more than 30 minutes away from my house to work. I don't want to drive 45 minutes to work in the morning.
It sucks.
That's
It
just
sucks.
like
That's why
nothing.
working from home is the
Yeah.
best.
And then it would be like
Just teach from home.
yeah, and then it would be like, all right, now I'm farther away from both the kids if something happens. Like if right now if something happens, I'm like 9 minutes away from getting to work to back to my house.
Yeah.
You know, if
Yeah.
something were to really happen. But Devin just moved last year, so she's a little closer.
Yep. True.
Yeah.
But yeah, ideally I would like to honestly work in her district, like at the high school.
Yeah,
In
cool.
Northville. But again, it's just kind of looking, if I was a science teacher, maybe I could go work in Farmington.
Right.
There's
That's
gonna be
true.
an
There's an opening
there.
coming up soon.
But yeah, I also have my admin degree. My master's degree is in administration. So in theory, I could be a principal or assistant principal. I don't know if I'm ready to take on that responsibility and time with the younger kids, but
Yeah.
like my kids
yeah.
being young. I don't know. I'm just maybe need just something else in my life.
Interesting.
Thinking about it. Yeah.
Like a foursome.
Yeah. Like 3's good, but like 4.
Why not?
four?
Why not more?
Bring in more.
I feel like this is like
Four
around
is
the
more.
age that it's
People have
it's like,
foursomes?
no,
People have- yeah.
it's normal to start thinking like that.
Cross that foursome age, yeah.
it, you know.
No, that's not what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean,
Should
like
be.
I've gone like the last few years, I've gone through the moments where I'm like,
foursomes.
I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Is this like fulfilling enough to keep doing it forever?
I do this. Okay, this is this episode of Seinfeld where Jerry and
what are we doing?
What are we doing? What kind of
We're not
lives are
men.
these?
No, we're
not men.
No,
Yeah, this is not
no,
what
we're
men
not.
do. What are we doing? I do that to the guy that lives across the hall from me all the time. I walk in the hall and things happen. I'm like, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing? What kind of lives are these? And it's just like, that's like all I think about sometimes. But it's also could be like, you know, the handful of teachers that are out there listening, it's like, it's also May and it's like the end of the year.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
it's getting to you.
You're
so close.
You're ready for it to be
Yeah.
break time.
So, yeah, school's getting close. What else I want to talk about? Oh, I want to talk about The Devil's Plan is back on Netflix.
Yes, it is.
yeah.
We watched the first 2 episodes.
Okay, well, I'm like 4 in, and I think it's just as fucking
Fucking Lee
awesome.
Sedol is on it, baby. The
You
gold
would know
champion
him.
of the world. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, Lee Sedol.
It's funny 'cause,
Holy
like,
shit.
when he
Yeah.
walked in, every single person, because he was like the last one to walk in.
Yeah.
Every single person was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Oh, is he like really famous?"
I was
Ryan's
like-
"Well, I know him."
I was like, he's extraordinarily famous in Korea.
Yeah.
That's
He's
pretty
like
cool.
he's like Magnus Carlsen of Go.
yeah.
I mean, he's retired now, but he was like, he was like the Go god.
Yeah. If you like, the show's called The Devil's Plan. This is the 2nd season. If you're interested in watching, you start at watch season 1. But it's like it's a game show. It's a reality show in South Korea, but it's all it's like games. They're playing almost difficult board games that this show has created.
Yeah.
But they live in this house that like doubles as an escape room, sort of.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
fucking
There's like meta puzzles going
awesome.
on.
Like, just an example, no spoilers. The first game in the season that they play is very, very similar.
Yeah,
like
it's kind of
Letters from
werewolfy
Whitechapel.
or
Yeah, it's
even
Letters from
yeah.
Whitechapel, werewolf, where there's hidden roles, and these people are trying to like figure out who's who, but also uncover
Oh
who's
yeah, you're right.
who
The
while
first
people
game
are.
is right. It is. It's definitely cat and mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 2
The
people
first
that
one
are
from
hidden.
the first season is 100% like a werewolf.
Yeah, you're right. That's the first.
Where people
season.
are getting kind of picked off.
You're
and
right.
Whatever.
The new one
It's
is
like the
definitely
cops and then the
Whitechapel.
thieves.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
cops and the thieves
And then
and the corrupt
second
cops.
one,
Yeah.
the second one is even just like, here's this board game, and they only get half the rules, and they sort of have to figure out what the rules are, and it's just, if you are like a nerd board gamer, this show is so fucking cool, and I'm just like, first of all, it's too long. I think the episodes are
Yes.
like
Okay,
an hour.
I was
and a
like,
half.
I don't want to yuck your yum because you're crushing on this, but I was like, it is too
It drags
long.
on.
I just basically
It
will pause in the middle.
drags.
Like, we just pause it whenever we want, but it
Yeah.
is so
Yeah.
long.
I'm like, they
because
gotta
they
shorten
show
these up.
like every turn
Turn.
of everything. So
Right.
That's
some
my
people are
big
probably
complaint
like,
with it.
and maybe that's the cult, like South Korean whatever. That's like their reality show, because these people aren't also like, they're not mean to each other. There's not over drama like there is in like American.
I like that about it.
Yeah,
though.
me too.
I like that about it. I prefer that.
Yeah, they compete against each other, and there's definitely like things happening, alliances kind of forming, but there's never like over drama or anybody screaming. Like, they all understand they're playing a game. And they're also like, half of them know each other because they're
Well, they're
kind
all,
of
like,
semi-famous.
famous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all like,
And then there's
not
like
all of
3 or
them,
4
but-
people that are like
Students.
open casting, right? They just like got casted.
Open caskets.
Yeah. There's dead. Yeah, there's dead guys.
Right, dead
Yeah.
people.
But there's like a news
You gotta
anchor,
carry
and
them,
then
though.
Yeah.
there's like a pop star.
There's a guy that's
Right.
apparently
Like
a
a
South
singer.
Korean board gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's cool. Tino
He is.
or Tino
He's
or
my
whatever.
age too. That's why I remember. I'm like, oh, he's born in '82. And then there's Lee fucking Sedol, baby. Holy
It's
shit!
a cool show. So if you like, if you're a board gamer, which you maybe are, or you like poop and pee like we do, just watch The Devil's Plan.
I like butts and poops and peas.
Yeah, man.
We have been watching the newest season of The Handmaid's Tale. The
God,
the
that's
final
still
season
fucking
is the
going.
It's
last
the final
season.
season.
6, I think.
I
yeah,
stopped.
I think it's
Sounds
6.
right. I think
I'm
When
okay
did
with
when
me.
did you stop?
I mean, it's been years ago, so no spoilers. But she escaped.
Oh, you missed
Then
the
I-
last couple
Well, I
seasons.
mean, she's escaped like 6 times, so I'm trying to think of which particular time. Probably 2 seasons ago is
Big
my
escape.
guess.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
watched 4.
Last season I thought was bad. This season, the final season so far, is good. We are very excited.
It started off
I'm
like
very excited
okay,
about
and
it.
now it's getting like very good.
Well,
Maybe they can end it however they want now. They could.
I
kill
don't know
everybody,
if
they
they're
could not.
following.
I sure hope
I
Gilead
don't know
goes down.
what they're following. If it's following
Been the hope
books or
from
stuff.
season 1, right?
We also finished watching the last season of You.
Okay. I
right.
also stopped watching that too.
You did?
Oh, did
when
you?
when he ran away.
So probably when he that
went to a different country.
Yeah, okay. That ended I like the ending of that.
Okay, I did like that. That's probably something I would come back to because that's an
show.
easy watch. It's very
this last season we just
oh my God, it was funny.
We cracked up the whole time because like
supposed to be funny or just
sort.
Well,
okay, so this guy, the basic model.
Yeah,
you go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
You know the basic. It's like a house thing, right? Where basically he falls in love with somebody and he's like, "Oh
Stuff
my
goes
God,
bad.
you're the greatest!" And then eventually he has to kill them.
kills people. Yeah,
Right.
Usually them.
Yeah,
right. So,
but it's the same like formula every time.
It's so funny because he was like, there's this one girl who's actually plays. If you remember from The Handmaid's Tale, the girl that gets her eye taken out in the beginning of Handmaid's Tale, she's like one of the love interests in this final season. And there's this one moment where he's like, she's got to go. We got to fucking kill this stupid bitch. And then she says something to him like, you're great. And he's like, oh, you get me.
You are the one.
You're the great. And we just like die laughing because it's the same.
The whole time.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious to us because he's like such a psychopath. Like there's seriously something wrong in his brain. Sure. But like watching him go back and forth like in an instant.
He believes it so
it's
intensely.
Like made us laugh
it's
so
the
much.
funnious.
We're like, this guy.
There was literally a moment where he was like going to kill her in his brain. He's like, you fucking
never mind.
bitch, you're gonna die. And then she's like, oh hey, and touches his arm. And he's like, oh, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Like,
I was wrong about you.
That's how every season is. He's like, you're the one. You understand me. You like me for who I really am. And then like something goes wrong, and he's like, well, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. That's where I kind of stopped because
but you're
was like
the one.
Same season.
Now you're the one. And then he's like, you gotta die. But you're
like
the one.
House. It's like so formulaic. It's all the fucking same.
But for some reason, this season
was really good. It definitely had some speed bumps. Same with The Handmaid's Tale. The Handmaid's Tale, I feel like I'm like, if it didn't end this season, I might stop watching it. But this is the final season, and so we even started it. We were like, I guess we got to finish it now.
All right, I guess I'll do it.
And the first couple episodes, I was like, and the last few, I'm like, oh yeah. Okay, it's back to what it is. It's back.
This is a show that historically gets Ryan extremely riled up. I don't think he's ever hated a character more than he's ever hated Serena from Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, Serena's the worst.
And Aunt Lydia. And so whenever there's a situation where like he feels like justice is being served, he just gets insane. He's like, fuck yeah, oh, that's what you deserve, yeah. And he just goes crazy.
During the show?
Yes. He's like screaming
in the middle
at
of the episodes, I get so riled up.
Scream at the TV except for this show.
That's just like, I don't know, I think it's maybe just, certain people's mutable human rights being taken from them, and then you watch them happen and they're just like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be.
Wrong.
We're going to argue and it's normal. And it's like, and then later that person who argued this person is like, why don't you like me? And it's like, because you're a stupid arguing bitch,
Right.
Like anyone would ever her. I think what's her name in real life? I know she passed away. Jessica something? Is it Jessica? It's Jackal. Is it Jackal?
Oh, is it Jackal?
Jackal. But you know what I'm talking about. So the mom from I think she said that was her favorite line of the entire series.
I think
like anyone would ever, like anyone would ever her.
The mom from Arrested Development.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, no one knows what you're talking about.
Buster says, like, are her.
Yeah, Buster.
Oh, yeah.
You're right. No one knew what I was talking about.
I don't know her name. Yeah.
Jessica. Is it Jackal?
Is it Jackal? I think it's Jackal. It's probably Jackal. Let's type it in.
Yeah, find out what her name is. I think it's Jessica. Is it Jessica something?
It's probably not Jessica.
I hope it's not. I really hope it's not.
She doesn't look like a Jessica.
Yeah.
Nope. No, it's Jessica. Jessica.
Is it really?
Jessica Walter.
I knew it. Anyway, she
We've also are continuing playing Blueprints.
Blueprints is my.
Ryan is obsessed.
Oh my God, I love it so much. I text Dave about it every night.
I know he texts Dave
every
you guys have,
single night. We're like, so what you did today?
I got 20 pages of notebook or whatever.
Oh my God, he's worlds
way ahead.
past us.
So Ryan's like, so I just did this, and so we know that Dave has.
Well, here's the good thing. Dave's not playing it with Terry. Dave's playing it by himself, so he's able to go on several runs. Me and Natalie will play, and it'll be over, and I'll be like, let's go again, and she's like, no, we'll try again in a couple days, and I'm like, I just want to play it
almost every day.
Yeah, he's able to just rack it because he's just playing it alone. But it's half the fun.
Holding you back.
Yes,
got it.
Fuck yes. But at the same time, I don't want to play it without her.
Sure.
I mean, we're experiencing it together, so it's really, really fun. But just let's take a whole day. Let's take a day off work and just start in the morning and go to midnight and
Sometimes
play it all
takes
fucking
like
day.
an hour and a half, and then I'm like, well, now
Okay,
it's
well,
like
so I
10
take a day off
p.m. I
work.
don't want to start a new one.
It is. I love it. I love it
is very
so
good.
much.
It is.
It's
cool.
so fun.
Especially when you like,
You would love it.
yeah.
I know.
It's all
You
puzzles.
would love it.
Someone just needs to buy me a. What are you playing on PlayStation?
Yeah.
I think
PS5.
it might be on the Switch. Maybe it's
It's not.
Oh.
I looked it up. I think.
Maybe Dave's playing.
If
on the
anybody
Switch,
wants
or the
to
PS5
send me
too.
a PS5, I mean, I'll play it.
Send Jeff the.
Yeah.
This is a
I
commission
think you
to
and
send Jeff a
Devin
PS5.
would like it. It's basically like the video game version of like an exit almost.
Yeah, it's escape roomy stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You would love it.
And you go through the stuff, and then when you like figure out something, it's like
It's the
most
best feeling in the
exciting
world.
thing. Or like when you're like, I see this thing, I know it means something, but I don't know what it means, and then you eventually come across something that makes it all connect, and you're like,
You're like,
"Whoa,
oh my
that's it."
god. It's better than no. It's not better than coming. It's better than pizza. It's not better than pizza. It's better than No, it's not better than barbecue. It's better
Right.
than
Bad pizza.
coming. It's not better than coming. It's not better than bad pizza. It's better.
It's not as good as coming.
It's not quite as good.
That's what it says
not
on the box.
quite as good.
Blueprints. Not as good as coming.
But close.
Yeah.
It's not quite as. It's
not even close.
It's not in the same ballpark as
Not
coming.
near as good as coming.
Oh my God.
Blueprints.
You know what it's like, actually?
Buy it today.
Yo, you shit in your hand, bro?
That's what it's like.
Okay. Hey, you said yeah. Yeah. Why not?
Have you played board games?
Yes.
Which ones?
Not many, but
Not
I want to
enough.
Talk to me
them.
about one, please.
So, one board game I'm going to talk about is Trismegistus. You remember that?
I remember the
They
new
have
version
a-
came out, right?
Yeah, well, it's on Kickstarter. Or
Oh, it's
on,
coming out.
Sorry, it's on. It's not as good as
Game
coming.
Found? It's not as good as
on
coming
Game
out.
Found. But I'm just going to back it because why the fuck not? Okay.
Yeah, get that one. Well, you love the game.
I love the game.
Get that one. Give the old one to someone else.
Yeah. So it's new version, new art, a little bit of tweaking of rules. This also comes with an expansion that is just on here that doesn't add into the old
Wait,
game.
tweaking the rules, like they're changing core rules?
No,
or
I believe it's like a little bit more of a streamlined rule book. I don't know how much if they're changing anything like to actually what's going on, but maybe to make things more clear in the rule
Okay.
book. I could be wrong. They might be changing but nothing that's like a giant.
Do me a
thing.
favor, talk about Trismegistus for like 30 more seconds so I can put it in the thumbnail.
Ooh, okay. But there's a roll and write.
Trismegistus rolling right?
So yes, a Trismegistus roll and write, and then the expansion that sort of adds on to that.
Wait a minute. It says Trismegistus rolling right 2020. Is it old?
That's weird. I mean, is that when
Are they redoing the Trismegistus?
I mean, Trismegistus was released in 2019. Was there a Trismegistus roll and write in 2020?
Let me look it back up.
So that's the original art.
Yeah, I was on the wrong entry. Here we go. Trismegistus rolling right 2020, 7.1. It's only got 7 ratings. So it must have been a very small print
Yeah,
run.
so-
I'm guessing.
So maybe whatever they did that. So it also has like a bigger dual layer player board.
Oh, baby.
So you can kind of see like the difference between the player board. Like that's the original, that's the new one.
I like
So
that it's
it is much
thinner.
bigger. The original player boards are awesome. They're one of my favorite player boards, except they're like all like bowing a little bit, and that's been a big problem that I've seen.
sucks.
Making it bigger doesn't know if it helps that, but it seems like something I'm gonna like obviously love.
Oh, you're going to fucking love it.
Devin didn't love the presentation of the first one, and I know a lot of people kind of didn't. I actually thought it was fine.
What does she not love? Do you remember what she didn't love about it?
Well, the game itself, she was like, just there's too much shit going on. But that's like exactly what I like in games is too much shit going on that I can try to figure out.
Too heavy for. I mean, it's a 4. It's like a 4.
Yeah,
It's
there was
pretty
a
heavy.
lot of like icons in there that didn't necessarily make like straight sense. Like there was like icons on the dice that match what's on the board, but it wasn't like a diamond. It was like a weird symbol, right? And those symbols were like, well, what's this and what did this turn into? So that kind of bothered her, but that adds to the depth of the game. But I'm very excited for the reprint. I think Board and Dice will obviously get it out fairly quickly. And honestly, the all-in, which was like the game, Trismegistus roll and write, the expansion, and then any of the stretch goals.
Yeah.
It's $100.
That's pretty good nowadays.
I think
Yeah,
that's
that's
really
not bad.
good for like I'm getting a brand new like game that I love. I'm getting a roll and write, which I'd probably play once, but
Right.
and then getting the expansion. It's like that's fine. I'm sure I'll have to pay out the ass for shipping, but maybe shipping will change hopefully in the next 6-8 months when this game comes out. But I
Yeah,
am really excited
we'll see.
about that. So I have already backed it. I signed up for like their newsletter, which gets like a cool dice tower. So if you get you get like a free dice tower.
A
if you sign up
Trismegistus
for their-
tower?
Yeah, it looks like a chemistry bottle thing that you can drop in the top and it comes out the bottom. It's cool.
That is cool.
Was that long enough to put
That
in
was
the thumbnail?
perfect.
Okay, good.
That's
good, good.
thumbnail. That was thumbnailable.
Why couldn't you talk about
time.
other stuff while you did the thumbnail?
No. I have to justify
Yeah,
the
it was
thumbnail.
justify that it's in
the
there.
thumbnail needs to be justified. He can't just be like, "There's a new reprint of the Trismegistus
Yeah.
coming out."
And then
All
you
right,
put
and
it
then
in
move
the
on and then put it in the
thumbnail.
thumbnail.
I see.
Yeah, we're peeling back the curtain a little bit here.
Two other things I want to talk about. The Spiel des Jahres got
They
nominees.
sure did.
So I
Or
just want to
crackle a rackle.
quickly talk about
that
what
for
got
real?
nominated. We've
for real.
played a few of these. So the nominees so they have the 3 categories as always. They have the Spiel, which is like
Family game of the year.
the family game of the year, which is that's really fallen into family game of the year, right?
That's what it is. Yeah.
And then the Kennerspiel is the gamers game.
Gamers game.
And then the Kinderspiel is the
little kids game.
little baby game.
Thank God for little
So
baby
the
game.
Spiel, the family game, Bomb Busters.
Bomb Busters. Good, not great.
I know.
I am very, very shocked that Bomb Busters
It's getting
was
a lot
nominated.
of like
But we
love
only
and
played it
buzz
2
and
players.
I don't. That's true, but there was nothing in it that I was like, "This is cool." It just seemed like a typical standard deduction game. You know, like if that was nominated, why wasn't Infiltrators nominated? It's like the same kind of thing. I felt.
yeah.
Yeah.
but cool for it.
Probably the one we're rooting for. Flip 7.
Flip 7. That's
Got
Oh,
nominated.
yeah.
That's
Flip
gonna win the
7
shout.
by the Op, huge. And then Crackle Rackle.
Crackle a Rackle.
Which I have no fucking
Crackle
clue
or
about.
Rackle?
It's a co-op game, and it is literally not
co-op
available in
games.
English. There's only a German version right now, so you
So
can't even
maybe
play
if it wins or something, they can
It's a bummer.
produce it.
It's a bummer.
The fuck's they're called? The jury. The jury recommended a few more.
Okay,
Agent Avenue.
okay.
Don't know that one. Castle Combo, which I fucking
Castle
love.
Combo.
Cities, which I also really liked.
Cool.
Foxy. I don't know Foxy.
Foxy.
Cleopatra.
Cleopatra, yeah.
Perfect Words and the Animals of Baker Street. Which again, I don't know, but it seems
well,
like that could
that's
be
got to be a Sherlock Holmes
yeah.
type thing.
The Kennerspiel Gamers Game, Endeavor Deep Sea.
Yep.
Huge shout out to Grand Gamers Guild.
Oh yeah, that is
Yeah,
them,
there
isn't
you
it?
go.
Very good.
Yep.
Cool.
Nice job.
Far Away, which is awesome.
Far Away is good.
Yeah, that's good.
That game hurts my brain.
Yeah, but it's awesome. There's an expansion out that I also want.
Cool.
Yep, put that in the thumbnail. No, I'm just kidding.
And, the
And then a game
thumbnail
called Loot.
Loot. Yeah. There's like 4 O's.
Yeah.
Loot.
This has it as 3. There's 3 O's.
Three
sorry.
O's.
Or, no, it's 3.
3 O's. Loot. Oh, so it's just loot.
Loot.
It's not loot.
Yeah, it's Loot.
My ex-girlfriend's name was
Yeah.
Lynn, and my new girlfriend's name is Lynn. My ex-girlfriend spelled it with 2 N's, and my new girlfriend spells it with 1 N. And sometimes my new girlfriend can tell that I accidentally said my old girlfriend's name because I say longer.
Their recommended
that
ones.
like,
Mitch Hedberg.
I was going to say.
There's so the recommended for the Kennerspiel were The Gang. Just cool.
Yeah,
as shit.
Recommended. Should have been fucking nominated.
Kari.
Your choice.
Kari?
Kauri. I don't know what that means.
Kauri. Okay.
Medical Mysteries NYC Emergency Room. That seems like something I would probably
yeah.
want. And then Zenith, which is a TV from back in the day. And then
Yeah, that's all I know.
For sure.
the kids game of the year. I don't know any. Well, I know Cascadia, but Cascadia Junior.
Okay.
Les Clans des Sources. Something
Les
French.
incompetents.
Yeah, Les Incompetents. Bonjour tout le monde. And then Top D Tort by Wolfgang Warsch.
Wolfgang. He is a perennial
That dude's just
nominated
been
man.
nominated a
That
lot.
guy just knows what to do to get himself
Yeah.
nominated for the Spiel des Jahres.
Yeah.
Is he fucking one of the Spiel des Jahres people?
Maybe spielen the Yaris.
He was Yaris and some spiels. Oh
my God.
This fucking Varsh.
And then last thing, really quick, I want to run through
wolfing it down.
the Golden Geek winners came out. I'll do this
they
one
did.
quick. So I've got
cool.
the nominees because we already did that. 2-player games, Lord of the Ring Duel for Middle Earth.
Boom.
You guys like that one?
I do.
Artwork and presentation, Unconscious Mind.
Okay.
I'm going to make a soft promise that Unconscious Mind will be our feature game next episode because I'm going to pick it on Monday.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Best co-op game, The Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Okay. Best print and play. 52 realms.
card pickup.
I mean, 52 card pickup.
Adventure.
You have to print your own cards and
Yeah,
then pick them
them up.
Yeah. Most innovative game, Arcs. Best party game, Flip 7.
Flip 7.
Best expansion, Arcs. Best solo game, Slay the Spire.
Slay the Spire.
Best thematic game, SETI. Best war game, Arcs. I bet war gamers are pissed.
Well, yeah, continue.
I think they're probably mad
Yeah,
about it.
maybe.
I think board gamers are probably like, yeah, it's the best war game.
Of course
and war
it is.
gamers are probably like, that's
What?
not, fuck you.
Well, I know that Leader Games, like Root, is considered like a coin game, which is that series of war games you played.
Okay, yeah.
You played those.
Yeah.
You played Fire in the Lake, I think.
Yes.
And basically, I've heard people say, you basically say Root is essentially a coin game.
Okay.
So it's kind of pseudo war stuff.
Okay.
I haven't played
Yeah.
Arcs, but, you know.
Best podcast, Beyond Solitaire.
Okay.
Okay, good for that.
Whoever
Best
that
board
is.
game app, Dune Imperium.
Okay.
Lightweight game of the year, Castle Combo. Love that one.
Sweet.
Medium game of the year, Harmonies.
Harmonies.
I played on Harmonies. I played on Board Game Geek a few times.
Board Game Geek?
Nope. I played on Board Game Arena.
Board Game Arena?
And then heavy game of the year is SETI.
Cool.
So yeah. So I mean that was board game talk. Let's end the
for
show
board
Look
here.
at us. We talked about board
And
games.
we're done.
And we're done.
Thumbnail.
So that's going to do it for us. All right. So I want to talk about a game that Dave picked up at Gen Con this past year, a year ago. Also, we got a hotel.
Good. You
did
got,
tell you
you
that.
got in the lottery.
I
You
did
did tell
double
us.
check that you guys are. Well, we didn't get it in the lottery. We just continue to check over and over and over again. There's a
So if you don't get the lottery, you can still get in?
yeah, because sometimes people will drop hotel rooms. So if you don't get it in the initial like thing,
You get
So
on a
what did
wait
you
list?
check?
there's like essentially a wait list. There's a website someone created called genconhotels.com that refreshes every
It's .com.
It refreshes every 5 seconds, essentially. And it'll say any of the rooms that are in the current block. And the block is not only like the connected ones in downtown, but they're also up to like 20 miles away. They're considered Gen Con hotels.
Blockus to caucus.
So you can set it to like have an alarm that goes off if there's like a skywalk or a downtown hotel that goes off. So people have been dropping recently because this is the last week you can drop without paying
Having
the
to
fee
pay.
Yeah,
or
getting
something.
fined or something.
And so I guess it has been going off, and Dave's been getting like close to getting there. He like has it on at work, so he'll be at work and be like,
right. And he's like,
whatever.
I missed
So
it.
Dave ended up snagging one that it's like 3 blocks away. So we're like,
Wow.
we're not like
cool.
skywalk connected,
But you're still
honestly,
really
the,
close.
the walk from like it's
Probably the same
hall
walking
is the same, but it's just
distance.
outside.
Yeah, that's funny.
But now what we can do is now that we're in the block, if something connected or the JW comes
You
up,
can then
we can
upgrade?
just swap it right over.
Perfect.
And then our hotel will then open up. But
Yeah.
it's crazy, just like how fast these things are
That
going.
Oh my gosh.
crazy.
It's,
Dave's
it's
like
instant.
within, it will take to go from start to like, all right, you click on the button to then reserve it. It takes a couple minutes, and they're gone.
Like someone
instantly.
could get it. By
Yeah,
then.
like I don't know if somebody like people have like a way that have some program that essentially gets them to the last click
Yeah,
or
fills in
something. You
all
know what
the
I mean?
stuff.
It's like, remember when we tried to get that like Star Wars Unlimited
Exactly.
stuff? I'm like, I was on there.
Yeah, me too.
I was waiting 10
Yeah.
minutes before. And then the second it hit go, I'm like, refresh,
Yeah.
refresh. And they're, it's
they'd
like,
be
they're
like,
gone.
you're-
I'm like,
you're
why?
gone. Like,
Why?
how did- yeah.
How did someone get faster than me?
And that's
How?
the same
But they
thing
do.
with these like the tickets that they do for whatever. I can bitch about that later. But anyway, in a hotel, super excited. I
Yeah,
know I
that's
texted
cool.
you guys to be like, are you really sure not going because we have an extra bed?
sure.
So there's an extra bed. But
Yeah, no, thanks. We're
so
sure.
Dave grabbed a game last year at Gen Con called Flock Together.
Oh,
Birds of a feather
yeah.
do that.
Birds of a
Okay.
Feather.
That's what I've
And I
heard.
don't know if the art grabbed him, but it's an Andrew Bosley. Andrew Bosley was also there and signed his box. And that
Oh,
was kind of
cool.
a cool thing.
Gotta be
that
why.
would get me to buy stuff too.
You're right.
Designed by this dude named Matt Mundy. Nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah, he's a nobody.
Matt Mundy.
First design, actually. So pretty solid for his first
Okay.
thing. And you get Andrew Bosley
So
as
you're
your
saying
art.
he's on his way to be a somebody?
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to do this
We will
anymore. Maybe he's
see.
like, I just did one.
I just wanted to be a nobody.
Maybe he just
don't
does,
know who I am.
Maybe he does one of everything in the whole world.
Maybe he's like a semi-somebody.
Maybe
Yeah.
he's egotting.
Yeah, he's got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, called Flock Together. So this is it's a cooperative game where you have to defend your farm from waves of predators and then defeat the final boss.
You got to flock together.
Okay, you got to flock
Essentially.
together. Players are chickens with asymmetrical abilities, and they all have very like punny names.
Chickens are in a flock.
There is a
Henrietta.
lot. No, they're famous people, but they're like chickens. So, God, I wish I had. I wonder if you can pull some up on.
Let's look. Flock
Board game.
together chickens.
Yeah, I should have wrote some down because we were kind of laughing at some of them. I wish I could remember
Like
anything.
Hellhen Mirren.
Hell Hen.
Yeah, maybe something like
Hell
that.
Hen Mirren. Let's see. Blah blah blue, blah blah blah,
Has
blah
the-
blah blue blue blue.
the
I mean, I can.
characters.
Is it in the rule book?
Yeah, probably. Well, anyway, I'll keep going while you look that up. So everybody grabs a chicken, okay, and this board is basically like your farm. Okay, so you have like the outside, and you also have like the coop in the middle. And on your turn, you're basically going around, and everybody takes two actions on your turn. You can move, lay eggs, draw some cards that'll help you out. You can attack, eat, which makes you kind of stronger. You can forage for food. Okay,
Hens Gruber.
Hens Gruber. All right, that's good.
Wingston Coop Hill. Cluckleberry Finn. Annie Yoki.
Yoakley?
Yokley.
Like Annie Oakley?
Yeah, like Annie Oak. Those are just bugs. Those don't
Like
have anything on them.
Centipede.
Yeah, centipede.
What?
There's Annie Yoakley.
So yeah, there's some like creativity
Yeah.
behind the characters and the chickens. So yeah, you basically just pick two actions. It's very similar to most co-op games. There's a big objective to do. Everybody does a couple things, and you just keep going around and around and around.
Cleopatra.
So what your essential goal is to do in this game is to sort of like make yourself stronger. You do that by like eating, drawing these bonus cards, foraging for. You make yourself stronger, and then you fight these smaller like bosses, right? These little things, and they're all things. They're like birds, right?
Yeah.
Or they're like cats or something, right? Things that would attack a chicken. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And then once you have beaten all of those,
Quiet chirp. That's good.
once you have beaten all of those like initial waves of those predators, then like the big bad boss shows up, and then you have to defeat that boss before the end of the final season.
Yeah.
And you do that again by just like powering yourself up so you can have enough strength to basically go kill the big baddie. There's event cards. They're called like weather. They introduce like complications and tension again throughout the rounds. And you either die by having someone die, and that sucks, or not beating the bad guy before the end of the game. That's kind of it. Like, rules are really simple. The teach was very simple. You have to kind of explain where the spots are and where you can go, but that was all pretty simple. So
Cool.
Production quality is awesome. Okay, it's charming. Again, those punny characters are cute, and
Like
you read
Owl
them.
Coupon.
Yeah, like you get these two characters, and we never played them. And if the three of us sat down and played it, all of us would pick the character based on the name.
Yeah,
You would get,
I'd be Hens Gruber
like,
for sure.
That's fucking funny, right? So you're like, oh, that's hilarious. Like, even after the rules, you'd be like, this guy must be better. But like, no, I want.
It's just
I
the
want-
name
yeah.
that you like.
I want General So.
Right. So yeah, that's who Bill was, I think.
How about Agatha Christie?
Agatha Christie. Yeah. Like those, like there was thought and care that went into all of that. And that I appreciate. Even like the little text and the little flavor text on the cards were just kind of like charming. Okay. It adds that sort of thematic experience when you're playing it, which games sometimes need. It needs to stand out in that way, especially for like a pretty simple cooperative game. There's not some revolutionary thing where I'm playing it and I'm like, this is new. Like when we played Weirdwood Manor, how the board sort of shifted and turned. I was like, okay, that's different.
Yep.
Yeah.
The actions were similar, but there was that different thing on the board. Nothing here is like going to blow you away. But it being simple, the turns are really fucking fast, which is awesome. We played it at 5 because Christy was there. So we played at 5. I would say like maybe 3 to 4. You want to say another character?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Attila the Hen.
Oh my god.
That's the last one I'll say.
Yeah. So we played with 5, which the turns, I wish, again, my turn would have been faster, but I usually think that in cooperative games. So maybe like 3 or 4, it would come around a lot quicker. But your individual turn is quick. It was also, Dave had said he'd like read some stuff that it was easy, but this was more challenging than I anticipated.
Okay.
You're like, all right, we're chickens. Okay, we're,
Yeah.
Attila the Hen, we're whatever we are. And we're like, we're fighting grubs at the start. And you're like, okay, this is going to be easy. But we got to a point where like, okay, we need to like think about what we're doing.
Right.
Like, we can't just
Right.
keep running shit and
Yeah.
try to
Right.
like, back into a win. But it was still like, so there was a little more challenging. The resources got a little scarce toward the end, which was nice. Because at the beginning you had a bunch of stuff, and at the end you're like, man, I need more things, and that felt like tense. So really the progression was better than I thought it was going to be initially. I would like to see like the enemies and the powers that we had felt a little like underwhelming. Like as we started to like increase how powerful our chicken was.
Yeah.
So Agatha Christie, you could like flip the next page. So once you like progress, you flip the next page, you got a little stronger. And so did the enemies every round, but it just felt like underwhelming. There wasn't any like dramatic thing of like, now I'm the next character. And I didn't feel like I was like becoming that much awesomer.
Yeah.
And that would have been cooler. The weather cards, I thought were great. They added like that level of like tense unpredictability sort of as you flipped them. So yeah, it wasn't like, it's not gonna be my favorite co-op game. I liked something like Weirdwood Manor better. I also like the theme maybe of Weirdwood Manor better. But this, like the charmingness of this is gonna make people want to play this. The art is cool. Again, the punniness. So yeah, while it lacks like sort of this certain like spark, I thought that would make it really special. It's still something enjoyable. Like I would play it again.
Yeah.
Like I think Dave's going to keep it. We'll play it at some point. But it
Does
does
Dave
lack
get rid
a
of
little
games?
bit of. He will get rid of games randomly and like he'll throw it in a mystery box or something for me, or he's gotten into bringing them to upkeep a little bit. So
Does he know about the Birds of a Feather expansion?
I think we talked. I think it came up in our conversation of like, do you have this or are we playing with it? But I don't think we are.
Cool.
Yeah. So that was
Birds of a Feather.
What the fuck was that called? Flock Together.
Flock together.
Flock together.
Yeah.
I call it Birds of a Feather. Well, that's
Birds
what
of
they
a
do.
feather
That's what
flock
they do.
together.
They fly together.
Yeah.
You guys, can you believe it? I played a game.
I can't.
I didn't even know.
Sure, it was a game by myself while I should have been working. And sure, while I started playing, I wished I was doing anything else and kept repeating, what the fuck am I doing under my breath, even though I was alone and nobody else could hear me. And sure, eventually I started to be like, okay, this isn't so bad. And sure, after a while, I started to have some fun thinking I might actually be able to defeat the boss at the end of the first map. And of course, after I did that, I got a half chub, which I quickly used on Natalie. And sure, afterwards, I felt so good about myself, like I was a king among men, even though Natalie was left horribly unsatisfied and a little angry. I mean, come on, it was only half chub and half of the full is already nothing to write home about, which is pretty ridiculous. And sure, I came back down and thought about playing again and didn't because I realized I still had to work the rest of the day. But despite all of this, the game won a Golden Geek Award and I didn't. So fuck it and fuck you. Jeff, what else you got?
What game is it?
This is called 52 Realms Adventures. It was the print and play dungeon crawl game that won the Golden Geeks print and play game of the year
Nailed it.
for
Exactly what it's called.
2024. So it's
to
a
print
game
it?
that you play. You print it off
Oh,
on
is that what you
two-piece
printed
paper.
the other day?
That's what I printed the other day.
I thought that was for an RPG.
With it, you play it with a deck of playing cards, ordinary playing cards, and some counters. I think it cost me $5 to download the files, and I got to use my deck of the mind management cards,
So are you
which
kind
are
of-
really super premium
Are
and
you
awesome.
printing the counters essentially?
No, all you print are
Like a map?
is the map,
okay.
and then your
All right.
character sheet.
Cool.
It's literally just 2 pages. Well, I mean, there's 3 maps that come with it, so you could eventually print 3 pages off. And there might be more characters in the other maps, but I just did the first map. And there's 1 character sheet that has 2 characters on it you get to pick from. One's a barbarian, one's a seer. But so I got to use my mind management cards, which are really premium and awesome. In this game, you act as, like I said, a barbarian or a seer, bless you, and go through a dungeon map from beginning until you either die or fight and kill the boss to win. Each map is made up of different rooms. Each room is joined together by corridors. Each corridor has either a doorway you must pass through to get to the next room or a monster to fight. Each room has a little boon or bane type action in it, and you're basically just going through these, these corridors, fighting monsters, taking these actions, Natalie, until you win or lose.
Natalie.
If you're just gonna,
Natalie.
Go around the couch.
thank you.
Why?
Because I was already walking that way.
Oh, but like, did I not leave you enough room? back
No,
here?
no.
Oh,
I
okay.
think she was going that way and then
Oh,
didn't
okay.
see me.
All right.
Well,
Fair
everything is resolved with cards from your deck. You start the game with some items, which, depending on what suits you draw, do different things, like heal you or modify the number of equipment cards or ready exhausted cards. You also then draw equipment cards, and these care about the rank or the number on the cards, as they will be used for fighting monsters and going through corridor doors. If a monster deals you damage, you take wounds by drawing cards, and when you draw monsters, they're just cards from the deck whose suit dictates what monster type they are. And that's really clever. Everything is handled with just 2 sheets of paper and a deck of cards. You need a few counters to keep track of where you are in the dungeon and monster HP and stuff, but you can just find anything lying around the house to use for those, like some dice or cubes from another game or coins or really anything. I liked this game. Much like a game of Regicide, I enjoy seeing games in our hobby utilize a standard deck of playing cards. It feels neat and really accessible, and there's really just not a ton of games that do that. You know, most board games in our hobby don't use a standard deck of cards. Like I said, Regicide does, and I'm sure there's more.
Yeah, or even if it could use the deck of cards, they create something.
They'll create something.
Like, this is a standard deck, but we have swords and stars instead of... Yeah.
Right, or there's like, you know, they go up to higher numbers than the regular cards, so you can't use an actual deck, which is sometimes annoying. There isn't much text to read at all on the map. It's all pretty intuitive once you know the basics of the rules and how to play. The rules... they leave a lot to be desired. They're not great. The rules to this look like the designer just threw something together real quick on a Google Doc.
That's too bad.
You know, I mean, turns out it didn't fucking matter. They won Golden Geek.
Yeah.
So they don't give a shit. But I would have liked a little bit more meat in the rules. There were some questions I had that, you know, it wasn't hard to figure out. But I was like, I keep having to go back and reference things, and that's a very small nitpick, though. But it's a really clever little game, and I see why it was handed the Golden Geek Award for best P&P game of 2024. And P&P is Poop and P.
The Poop and P game of the year,
right? That's what P&P means, I think.
Poop and P. You shit in your hand, bro?
You should.
Yo, you shit in your hand, bro?
If there was something I didn't like, other than the rules, I think it was the lack of a scoring system. So you win if you defeat the boss, and then however much loot that you were able to find, which is just cards that you draw, and you get loot when you defeat monsters. That's your score. Okay. But there's no sense for what a good score is.
So if you
versus
lose
a bad
to the monster, you just
die.
And then if you win with one treasure, you've won with one treasure.
You've won with one treasure. Whatever the number on that treasure is your score.
So then it says beat your score.
It doesn't say that, but I guess that's the intuition is. Okay. I guess what it's saying is just you count up your score. You get like 2 points for every item you still have left that you haven't used, and then you get all of your loot. Okay. But it's random.
Would you have liked a chart that said 20 points is you're a dungeon master?
Yeah, it would have been cool to know, like, okay, I scored 49 points. Is that good?
Yeah.
You know, like, what is the designer, like, when they typically play as the barbarian, what's a decent score that they normally get? You know, again, it's hard to do that because it's pretty random what cards you get, because the way it works is when you fight a monster, you draw 2 cards off the top of the deck, and then whichever one is higher value becomes the monster. Whatever is lower value becomes the loot you get. Okay. So you could draw the King of Diamonds. That has a number of 13, right? 10, Jack is 11, Queen is 12, King is 13. Okay, you draw the King, it's the 13. So that monster now has 13 hit points.
And you could get 2.
Plus whatever, then you could draw 2. And I did that several times. I would draw monsters, and I would draw like 2. A 9 and a 2.
Or if you would have drawn a King and a Queen, you would have defeated the same guy for 12 whatever instead of 2.
Or if you you could draw 2 kings even. It's like, okay, cool. Now I could get a loot worth 13 money. But now the barbarian has a way to, you can also gain the monster as loot. If you beat the monster in 2 rounds only, you get to keep that monster as loot as well. Okay. I said him, it could be him or her. We don't know which end of the monster is. But But I really wish there was something that was like, as the barbarian, a score of 50 is good. As you know, so I would have known. It's kind of a nitpick. It's just if I had to find something. It's a random card game. There's not much to it, so this isn't going to be something that stands the test of time, I don't think. It's a 15-minute filler game that has some really clever ideas in it, but it needs a bit more table space than you might think, because you print it on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, which you then lay another sheet half under it, so it's another half sticking out, right? So it's like, at that point, it's like, I don't know, like 13 by 11 or whatever. Yeah. And so then you're placing playing cards around the perimeter, like almost like the entire perimeter of the thing.
Yeah, that's a big.
So now it's kind of a big swath of
It's not
space.
At your desk game.
Exactly. And that's what I was hoping. That's what I want it for.
Were you playing it at your desk?
I was playing it at my desk. It doesn't quite fit I could like make it fit by just putting the cards in a different zone.
Yeah, but that's not.
It's like not ideal because it's got like there's like slots printed on the paper that's like put your items on the right, put your equipment cards on the bottom, put the monsters on the left, put your wounds on the top. And it's like I don't have room for that.
Yeah.
I don't have room for all that, you know. So it needs a really wide berth, and it doesn't quite fit, like I said, on my desk. And I'm not just gonna go over to the game table with this. There's not enough there. You're gonna knock that over.
Your cup.
Oh yeah. So I don't think it's going to see much play. Even if I was all souped up with those board gaming juices of desire, I don't think I'd play it a ton. Even though I thought it was fun.
And for $5.
For $5, exactly.
Yeah.
You could do a
You
lot
got
worse for
$5
$5.
It's good to cheat.
So this one gets a good, not great, I think, for me. I think it's deserving of its award, having no clue what else was in the category. But playing it, I felt several times that it was really cool, really clever. And if you're looking for something really cool and really clever, that's soloable. If you like that sort of thing, I'm looking at you, Swoozle. And even Jeff now, you're kind of playing solo games.
I'm so cool.
Then I think 52 Realms Adventures is worth the $5 price tag. I can recommend it at that price. I mean, what's the saying, Jeff? It's $5.
It's $5. Just buy it.
You buy anything for $5.
I buy anything for $5.
So everybody's got a deck of cards lying around. I think it's worth it to try it for yourself. Don't listen to me. I'm a jaded fuck who doesn't like shit.
Can you go to like their 52.com, 52cardpickup.com and just buy it?
Yes.
Buy the PDF straight from there?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
where you buy it. You buy it right from there. And it's, again, I'm pretty sure it's $5. You get 3 maps. I don't know if you get more. You might, each map might come with more characters. But the original map comes with a barbarian and a seer. So there's different ways to engage with the game. There's different maps to play through. I could see somebody enjoying this. I played it and I was like, okay, that was cool.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm going to play it again, mostly because of the space issue, which honestly is the same reason I haven't gone back to A Gentle Rain. That's just bigger than I expected it to be. The footprint is larger, and I wanted something at my desk. So really, the only thing sitting at my desk right now are the paper app dungeons.
Yep. Have you done?
I haven't done the new one yet. You gave it to me. I haven't started it yet because I actually want to play through the whole book of Paper App Dungeon, and now I'm not scared to because I have the new one.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. So that is 52 Realms Adventures. What else you got?
I got 2 more games. I have a game about dogs.
Aw.
That's
I
what I was
like
waiting for.
dogs.
Little doggies. Okay, this game has a cute name. It's called Tales of Tales. The first Tales is like stories.
Yeah.
T-A-L-E-S.
Stories of dogs.
And then
Story of
the
dog
second Tales is like a dog tale.
It's like Sonic and Tails.
Of Tales. It's cute. This is from Hobby World. Okay, Hobby World. Furnace,
Hobbies.
Post Office, Neo Dreams, Intent to Kill.
I know it's
games
not,
that I
but
like.
I only think of Julia when you say Hobby World.
I know.
I know
Yeah.
she's not working
It's not
there
Maria,
anymore.
who's also awesome. Like everybody that has worked at Hobby World has been so cool.
Yeah. Go Hobby World people.
So yeah, this is Tales of Tales. I don't know again their wider release of this game, but I know that they've worked with U.S. distributors, 20th Century and Arcane Wonders for different kind of games. So hopefully this gets a bigger release. Gross. So in Tale of Tales, players are take the role of anthropomorphic dogs. Okay, you're a dog. You're exploring the dungeon. Okay, so imagine a dog wearing a bunch of armor. Okay, is that cute or no?
Yeah.
Armored dogs. I think it's
But
cute.
they're
Dogs in
not
costumes.
they're not drawn in cute form. They're dogs, but they're like tough dogs.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
okay,
It's
yeah.
not like a cute pet,
Right. It's like an
like
actual
big eyes. It's not like an.
It's not a chibi.
Yeah, it's not a
Yeah,
chibi
yeah, yeah.
cute pet. It's a dungeon exploring dog. Okay, and in the dungeon you're fighting feline themed adversaries. Right, you're fighting the cats. Okay.
Yeah.
The game has things like tile placement, a little push your luck, a little bit of set collecting. So the goal is to navigate through the dungeon, collect valuable items, and then win after 3 rounds. Okay, so you want the most gold essentially. Each player gets a cute little dog. Okay, with some special abilities. You get a
Little
quest
dog.
and you get a potion. Okay. On your turn, so the game starts with 1 tile in the middle, and that's the dungeon, the middle of the dungeon or something. They kind of call it the entrance, but whatever. It's like right there, and everybody essentially starts there. You don't have like a little figure to move around the dungeon, okay? So on your turn, you either add a tile to the dungeon, escape the dungeon, or take a nap, because that's what dogs do. Okay?
Yes, they do.
Which
That's
is
pretty
cute.
funny.
So when adding one, you basically take a tile off the top of the deck, which are cards. I'm going to call them tiles because they're square. You take a tile off the top of the deck and you place it that expands the dungeon. It has to make some sort of sense. Like the doors have to make a little bit of sense. not to Dave Madigan's standards where every door has to match, but at least one door has to sort of match. And these tiles are different. Some of them are potion rooms, some of them are traps, some of them are the bad cats that are going to fight you. And they have different stuff on them. Okay, so the first thing you do, expand the dungeon. You can then choose when it's your turn to escape the dungeon. So however many tiles there are out there, you can be like, I'm going to escape.
I am the fuck out of here.
Yep. And what you do is you start at that center room and you trace your path out of the dungeon, encountering every room that you go through on the way out, which would be like fighting monsters. So your character has symbols on them. So you would then be like, all right, I have 2 swords and a fire. I can defeat this monster. And you just kind of trace your path to go out.
Okay.
You can then add your little paw tokens to those tiles as you go through.
That's cute.
If you add the paw, that's just basically telling that's the path you took to get out of the dungeon. You've encountered those cards. It also blocks off those cards for everybody else that needs to escape later.
Okay.
So if I escape first, I could have my pick of what cards I need to go through and take that. But maybe if I'm escaping first and you guys wait to go, the dungeon is bigger, and then you can go through more rooms, right? So there's a little bit of like pressure luck. When do you leave?
Okay.
And then the end of every round, you basically everyone either escapes or take a nap. So if you get to a point where you're like, I can't get out of the dungeon because you either don't have the symbols or you lost the health because when you fight monsters, they fight you back. You can be like, well, shit, I got to take a nap. Okay, you get an extra paw token for later. So once the round ends, then you're collecting the tiles that you went through. So I would then collect the potion card. I would collect the monster that I fought. And those things have stuff to add to your personal player. So like I said, if I had the 2 sword icons and the fire and I beat one of these monsters, I could add that underneath my player board. And that would give me maybe another sword and another thing to use for the next round of the dungeon. So every round you're taking those cards and kind of making your cute little doggy stronger to go through the next time.
Okay.
And then you do that again and again. You do it 3 total times.
Who sent this one to you?
Hobby
World.
Yeah.
Right.
So you do it 3 times, and then at the end you kind of count up coins, which you got as you ran through the dungeon and that kind of stuff. It's cool. I mean, it's not. I'm playing it and be like, this thing's gonna win every award. But I'm like, this is kind of fun. Like,
well, if you think about it that way, that's like
That's
less
rare.
than one
That's very
half
rare.
of 1%.
So,
is
yeah.
going to be that, you know.
Yeah, and sometimes, and we've talked about this more, and I've gotten to this point too of like, just enjoy the game, right? Like have fun with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of fun here, right? I actually like the artwork. It's very like, it actually reminded me of, I had this stupid game a long time ago called like Dungeons something, but it's very like grays, beiges dungeon. But for some reason, the dogs like pop off the page really. It just like has sort of, again, that just like Flock Together, Jamesian effect is like, it's whimsical,
Makes
it's
it not
cute,
as
it brings the
serious.
theme sort of
Yeah.
out. And again, like that could have been, like it could have been just warriors going through the dungeon. But to make it dogs, call it Tales of Tales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cute. They're fighting cats. Like all of that really goes together to like up the thematic experience of the game. The player interaction is cool. It's different because you're making one dungeon. And I like that you're thinking about your path and maybe where you want to go, but there's also some interaction of like, I want to block off this path. Like, ooh, this path straight out of the dungeon. And I didn't say this, but like a path out of the dungeons is basically you going from the tiles to the table. So if you can trace a path and then lead to the edge of a table, you're like off. You're out of the dungeon.
Okay.
But like if you see a path where you're like, okay, this is a monster, this is treasure, this is gold, this is this, you could be like, all right, I'm going to put something else there to like make that path not as lucrative for the player that leaves. So, and then also just deciding when you're going to leave is like fun. Like do you want to be the first person out because you get to pick your tiles, or do you want to see what Natalie places? And then I can be like, oh, Natalie placed that one. That looks like a good path. I have enough swords or weapons to be able to get through that path. Let me do that. I'll play another round. Like I'll let Ryan place one.
Yeah.
And then, so there's a little bit of this like pressure luck. Like, are you going to be able to get out of the dungeon? And for the most part, you can. Like it might not be the best path for you to go through, but you don't really want to pick a path that you're going to die. Like that doesn't make sense.
The art on the box of this is crazy.
Yeah, there's so much shit going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. It's like a cacophony of different stuff. There's a dragon on there. There's like a cat in a bubble.
Yeah.
Or no, I guess it's a dog. I guess it is a dog.
It's a dog, yeah.
There's another dog like with a bow and arrow. They're all fighting the dragon's like got fire and flames and stuff.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
It's less it's less hectic on like the cards and the tiles and things like that.
I mean, it's cool.
It is
It
cool.
looks good. It's just like, wow, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. So really like, balancing that risk reward of getting stuck, having to take a nap instead of leaving, all that kind of stuff leads to some tenseness that was good in the game. I didn't feel like there was, oh man, you're really trying to fuck me in this game. Like you didn't feel like that because you're just building one dungeon. You're kind of paying attention to your stuff, but also a little bit of the other stuff. So it exceeded my expectations. I think it's pretty family friendly in terms of like how you could teach probably a 10-year-old to play this. Like Cameron could sit down and do really well. Lexi could win probably because that's what she does.
Yep, that's what she does.
There's a lot of different characters, which is cool. I think there's 6 characters or something that you can pick between. So there's some variability in like who you are. If you don't like a little bit of player interaction and getting blocked or maybe getting stumped or not getting out in a round, that could lead to, I think, a little bit of like
butthurtness.
I think more like a runaway leader. Maybe. Like if Natalie gets out of the first dungeon and maybe has the best run,
how do you
she's
stop
then
her?
Going to get her character is probably going to be the best character going into round 2. So one of two things might happen. She's going to be the strongest, so she can get through maybe more rooms in the second round, or we might need to pay attention to like, all right, we have to put some shit in Natalie's way, kind of.
Yeah.
Maybe she could find a way out, but like, all right, she can't go through this room.
Can't
Let's
just make
block.
it easy.
Yeah, so you'd have to pay attention to that, which could then lead to player interaction and blocking. But so I think there's a give and take there. But again, that's part of the game, and that's part of the enjoyment is, oh, I got out of the dungeon. Like, I'm winning. I would also maybe like to see like one more round. I haven't played it enough to make that determination, but like in this third round, your like dog is like, you're like, yeah. And then you just have to count it up but maybe that's the arc that they wanted. So I haven't played it like, 100 times to be like, oh, I know exactly what I'm talking about. This is OP, right? I don't want to be that.
Right.
But you kind of get to, like, I wanted to be like, let's go one more time. Like, look at how strong I am. I can fight anything. And then that makes the rounds go longer if you want to. The other thing that I read a little bit, and I can see this either happening or not happening. Ryan's just watching videos.
I watched the video. I watched Gracie was on there, and I was like, she was on Good Morning America. I wanted to see what she looked like.
Push the end to show man.
Hey, don't act like both of you didn't get up while I was in the middle of talking.
I had to pee.
I had to take my pill.
Well, so I'm not peeing.
There was no Arnold
This is
Palmer
me
bottle.
peeing. I'm just peeing for a second.
The other thing that I would say is what I read online, and it didn't really happen when I played, but the players really determine the length of the game because you're setting up the dungeon. So if someone was like on their second turn was like, I'm leaving, it then makes a timer for that round for everybody else. Okay. So like if the 3 of us are playing and I say I'm out, I would be out. I couldn't play any more turns. I would take like 3 or 4 cards off the top, tiles off the top, and you would then play those and then choose to leave. But if we all decide to keep going and going and going and make the thing huge, the game can take a lot longer.
Yeah.
So you could have a varied experience where someone's just like, I'm out, and then the game's not fun and your characters aren't getting better. So I could see how that could be annoying. But play with more fun people, I guess. So that was Tale of
Your
Tales.
group sucks, basically.
Yeah, your group sucks.
Right.
Tale of Tales, cute, fun game. I was
Cute.
pleasantly surprised with how much I
Go
actually
Hobby
liked it.
World.
Yeah.
They got good stuff.
Okay, last one. Trick Taker. Everybody loves a Trick Taker, especially at this table. This game is called Seas of Strife.
I don't know how I haven't played this one. I feel like this
Sounds
is an
so
old
familiar.
game
It's
too.
2015, and I don't know if it
that is old.
I don't know if it
I know, maybe
stopped,
we did play it.
but then I don't know if maybe Rio Grande maybe picked it back up.
The
and
cover
it
of
got
this looks like I owned it. But
the cover of it looks
Yeah, the
miserable.
name sounds really familiar.
I hate the cover so much.
I don't know.
It's a trick taking game. They added some boat theme or sailing theme or something to it, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't need any of that, but sure, why not? And yeah, so I don't know the progression of the game. Did it get released like somewhere else and then
A picture on here says Texas Showdown. Was
seen
it
that.
re-released as Sea of Strife?
I don't know
Or
if
vice
Texas
versa?
Showdown was like the original or how. I don't know. I don't know the progression of this game. I also saw something that like the basis of this game was invented in like the 50s, and then they like took it and changed it, and I don't know.
Damn.
There's like a variant in the box that's supposed to be like maybe the original way to play it. I don't fucking know.
Looks very.
I'm going to tell you how to play what the directions say. Seas of Strife by Rio Grande.
Rio Grande. Okay. I like that publisher because they give us heaps and heaps and heaps.
They give us like
of
everything they've ever made in 50 boxes.
Yeah.
So again, Trick Taker, very normal looking Trick Taker from the cards in terms of you have different suits. I don't know how many there are. Who cares? And there's different numbers. So let's say there's 6 suits and they're numbered 1 through 70 or so. And but not every number is in there. So there's like 1 through 70, but there's only 60 cards, right? So there might not be number 57 and 58, whatever. Sure. Doesn't really matter. But so like the red cards, let's say it's a red suit. They have names or whatever. The red suit would be numbered 1 through 10.
Okay.
And then the yellow suit is 12 through 20, right? There's something like that. Okay. So they're kind of grouped like that. And it plays like a normal trick taker. You could teach it to a trick taking person. It's not necessarily like a Lord of the Rings where there's like extra sort of things to do. This is like, all right, I'm going to play a card, and if you have the suit, you have to follow.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say I play a blue. Brian has a blue in his hand. He has to play it. Natalie has a blue in her hand. She has to play it. Okay. Then you look and you evaluate the trick at the end. It is the highest number will win the trick in the suit that there is the most of.
Oh.
So if we all played blue,
I definitely haven't played this.
Yeah,
so if we all have blue and Natalie had a 31 and that was the highest, you would win the trick. If I led with a yellow, Ryan's like, I don't have a yellow, I'm going to play a red. And then Natalie was like, I don't have a yellow, I'm going to play a red. And you play a red. Now there's the most red cards there. Whoever has the highest red wins. That makes sense? Even though yellow was led.
Yeah.
And you don't want to win tricks in this game.
Yeah. Okay.
So you want to avoid taking tricks. And then at the end of the round, which is like however many cards you have, 12, 15, whatever, depending on the number of players, you want the lowest number of points, and then you play to a point where someone like breaks that threshold, like a 6 nymph, right?
Sure.
Oh, you've broken 15, you've taken 15 tricks, the game's over, whoever has the lowest wins. Neat. It's neat.
I mean, most
trick taking is
games are
all
neat.
good.
Yeah.
I don't. There's not many I dislike. Fox in the Forest, fuck you.
Yeah.
But most I don't mind.
good.
Shut up, Fox in the Forest.
That's because you're not good at it.
Shut up, Natalie.
This
I mean, that's
game
true. I
and
can't defend myself.
Plurpy will, I think, back me up, or maybe he even told me this. It will shine at more. It plays 3 to 6. It will shine, I think, at 5 and 6.
Okay.
It can also be some take that in a trick taker, which is weird to think about because when you're starting to throw off, instead of just throwing off because you don't want to win something, you're throwing off to maybe make sure someone else wins something. Where
Because
in
you
a
don't wanna
situation, so like if I played a yellow and Ryan played the red, you then have an opportunity to be like, okay, if I play a red, Ryan's going to win that trick.
Yeah.
Or if you played something that was offsuit, so if there was like different, and then you played a blue, and I had the highest number, I would win.
Okay.
So then you would be
None
like,
of
all right,
them
who do
match.
you want to win this trick? And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, Jeff hasn't won a
You're
trick
like in
this round.
control.
Yep, boom, it's yours.
You know? So there's a little bit of that, and especially with 5 or 6 people, you could have 2 reds, 2 purples, 2 blue. You know, you kind of have that.
Yeah.
There's also a little bit of a rule. If you win with the highest card in that category, you get to have somebody else lead. So you could have someone else lead, which has a little bit of like strategy in there.
Yeah.
And it's, again, one of those games you could play to whatever threshold you feel like it. If you just want to play one hand, you can just play one hand. If you want to play to that 15 number or whatever they kind of say in the rules, you can
That's
do
one
that.
of my favorite things I think about trick taking games is you technically play the game in one go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
most of them are like you play 3 rounds and whoever has the most wins. But you don't ever have to do that. You
Right.
just play and it's like, okay, I
Yeah.
see how I like that about trick taking. Or you could just go on and on and on and on
Yeah,
and
you
on
can play
and on
to
and on.
40. Like you once you play the first kind of round, you're like, okay, I kind of get what's going on here. Because you really don't want to try to get yourself stuck in. What if you're always leading and you're like, fuck, I keep winning. I want to keep winning. What if you have all these high cards? But if your card is high enough, I could be like, Ryan, you're leading this next trick, so I can be last and make the decision. It's cool. Like I think it'll be a trick taker that I will, pull out.
Pull it out.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
It'll add
I'd
to
play
the
that.
small game box sort of as it travels, and again the rules are just so simple. It's like it's a page. All the rules are on like basically a half a sheet of paper,
Yeah.
long ways. And on the back are just examples of tricks, which I'm like, that's great. Well done. And then I have not explored the variants. There's variants, which maybe this Texas doozy or whatever the hell this thing's called.
Yeah. Texas.
Fives are twos. And so I don't really know any of the variants, so I would have to like look at those. But I would be interested in exploring that because, again, it's just a deck of cards with symbols and numbers on it. So I'm sure there's different ways to Texas doozy it up.
Texas doozy.
But yeah,
Class.
that was C's.
That was
Clan. That was Seas of Strife.
Seas of Strife.
Rio.
You mentioned Plurpy in there a second ago. I wanted to bring up a couple of games that our very own Stephen Ungaro, Plurpy, is releasing soon. He's got a game coming out called 3 Tricky Pigs.
Is that the Pandasaurus game?
This one is Baron John Games.
Baron. Are you saying
it
2 words?
Yeah,
Baron John.
Is it on Board Game Geek?
It's on Board Game Geek.
Cool.
The art is so cool on this one. It looks like an old timey like Porky Pig cartoon.
I'll be the judge.
You know what I mean? Like kind of like artwork on the box. And Natalie and I played this game.
What's it called?
3 Tricky Pigs. The number 3 and then Tricky Pigs. It has a date of 2025, so it looks like it might come out this year.
That's this year.
Potentially.
I like this art. It's cool.
Yeah, it says here it's a thematic trick-taking game. Players take on the role of 3 little pigs where the laziest pig will win each trick if there is no wolf around. However, if a wolf is in the trick, the highest card will win. I remember we played this when we went and saw, we went over to Shelly's place a number of months ago.
A year
And
ago,
it was a lot of fun.
It was very
I was
fun.
very impressed with this one. We also played another game of his that I think may be coming out of Gen Con. I think maybe.
Can I say that Baron John seems like they only do trick-taking games? Or like small box card
Very
games.
cool.
All right.
Yeah, very cool. The other one that he's releasing, I think it's coming out of Gen Con. It's either Gen Con or Spiel, but I think it's Gen Con. And I didn't find this one when I looked on Board Game Geek, which is a little curious to me that it's coming out in just a couple months, and I couldn't find it. It's called Tricky Kids.
Okay.
And we played this one as well, and man, is this one fucking cool. And
Is this the Pandasaurus game?
This must be the Pandasaurus game.
Okay.
Yeah, he's designed both of these games. He's designing with another, like a co-designer.
Yeah.
I think he's more the forefront designer on 3 Tricky Pigs. On Tricky Kids, I think him and there's this, I can't remember her name, who's designing it with him. I know she did something
big,
else. I can't remember.
Like. Can't
Yeah,
remember.
he'll let us all know in the Discord. But I'm very proud of Plurpy
That's
for
awesome.
that. That is so freaking
it's
cool.
really
I've
cool.
played both these games. They're both really good. So
I can tell you, Pandasaurus has done nothing wrong for me lately. So don't fuck it up.
With Steven's game.
Yeah. Well, I've
No, I think he's telling Plurpy not to fuck it up.
Oh, okay.
Don't
got
fuck it up for
Don't
me.
fuck it up.
Don't fuck Pandasaurus's
But
record
I've
up for me.
liked most
Plurpy.
of Pandasaurus's
I'm gonna.
games
I
recently.
think Tricky Kids is gonna be one that I'll ask you to maybe bring home for me at Gen Con, Jeff, if it's there.
I'll get it.
I'm very
I can do
excited
my
about
first
that.
step.
Yeah, it seems really cool. So good on you, Plurpy.
Well, if Plurpy is, I think he's deciding whether he's going to Gen Con. So he can maybe even put one aside for us so we can buy it.
Sweet.
Plurpy, did you hear that?
Put it aside.
Yeah. Come on, Plurpy.
If it even comes out then.
Yeah, bro.
Make
I know.
Make it come out.
For some
You don't
reason,
even know
he
for
posted it on his
I don't think
Instagram.
you're wrong. I think the goal was
I
Gen
thought
Con,
it said Gen Con.
Yeah.
But again, I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit worried, I guess, that I didn't see. There's no entry in Board Game Geek yet. That's kind of strange to me.
It's a surprise.
So occasionally, you guys, I'll get an email from someone or an Instagram message or something where they're like, listen, dude, thanks for the show. I'm a degenerate psychopath who seems to have found a home with your show. And I can't thank you enough for the absolute absurdity that comes out of your mouths whenever the hell you decide to release an episode nowadays. And other times, those people offer to do some work for the show by providing us with a segment. And to those specific people, they have earned a special place in my lazy, work-shy, loafing, slothful heart as I hate doing work. So this recent gem of a human being, which we'll call Steve, because that's his name, reached out to me and said, hey there, fellow degenerate psychopath, have I got an idea for you? He went on to say other stuff that cannot be repeated to our audience because it consists mostly of children, I think. But he gave me some sumptuous board game beatdown material that hasn't happened in far too long. So without further ado, let's beat some shit down. So So we're going to do things a little differently with this Board Game Beatdown segment that's typically run by our resident beater of games, eggs, and peens, Natalie. And instead, it's going to be presented in a game-like form for the two of you.
Do you remember when Natalie tricked us that Revive was on the beatdown? That was good.
That was funny. I
she got
forgot
us.
about that.
Yeah. Was it like everybody was involved in it?
Yeah, except us.
Except us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
And it was just like really shitty reviews, and you guys were getting mad.
We were mad.
game was still so
come
good.
on.
And then they're all fake.
Good game. Yeah, they were all written by. Well,
Yeah.
we guessed it after a while, didn't we? Because it was like, did we guess it?
Well, there was
I don't feel
there was
like
like
you
Tim
did.
Maybe we
Taylor,
didn't
Tim
fuck-
the Fool Man Taylor or something.
Yeah,
there was like
Tim
something.
the Fool Man. We had
There
no
was
fucking
something,
clue. So what our man Steve has given us here is a mystery game. I'm going to read some hate-filled comments of seething disgust,
Oh, okay.
and the two of you are going to try and ding in with
we're-
what game you think
Yeah.
that we're talking about here. Now, it's up to you guys. We can do this competitively, or you could decide to just get it cooperatively. I'm going to leave that up to you. It's going to get
don't care.
increasingly easier to discern the game as they go on, apparently. I haven't read through them
So
all.
like one game has multiple
One
reviews.
game's going to
that
have
gets us
5
closer.
of these,
Okay.
and then it's going to start with like you shouldn't probably get it on the first one, but it's possible.
yeah.
But by the 5th one, you should get it.
Why don't you tell us to do it
makes
competitively
more
or cooperatively?
sense to do it competitively.
Okay.
So we're gonna, if that's
We
okay,
can do
if you're okay with that.
Natalie and I have not competed in a while.
I have not read through these because I want to be as surprised as you guys. So I don't know how difficult these are going to be.
We should have like AI read it to us and we can all play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, ding your bell. Jeff's got grandma's bell, Natalie. You okay with that?
Grandma.
I don't care.
We'll see. We'll see when you ding in quick and hers doesn't
Yeah.
work. And she's like,
my
well, you got grandma's bell, so.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I like I said, I wanted to be surprised by the comments. Too. So, without further ado, here we go. Okay, number 1. Placid Moose says, my new worst game I've ever played. An absolute hell game by every measure. I mean, you're not going to
Yeah.
boy.
pretty
It doesn't
Not
sound like
gonna
you're going to
get
get
that
that. Number 2, Mystic Mouse says, tedious and boring VP pusher with instant railway transition. Not my cup of tea? No. I'd rather smear my genitals with fish paste and dangle them in a pool of hungry piranha.
Oh my God.
Damn.
All right, Mystic Mouse. Any
was a good one.
guesses yet?
Railways?
No.
No.
All right, next one. Serial Spink. SPNC. This game is the epitome of convoluted. The game could not end soon enough. We will not play again. 120 minutes for max playtime is way understated. More realistically, double this time. The game grinds to a halt with analysis paralysis as you can't really plan ahead because your one play that has any meaningful impact could be blocked by another player when it gets to your turn. If you enjoy games, take a hard pass on this one.
Man.
So it's
we
a
both
really
know this
long
game?
game.
You both know this one.
Have we played them? Both played them?
Jeff, I don't think you've actually. I don't know if you've. I don't think you've played this. Natalie, you've played it once.
Oh, okay.
This one only has 4. So the last one here.
Oh, God.
Root Forever says the most boring and overrated game you could imagine. No tension. If you do not have resources, you borrow them. Also, no variability. Even the 2 maps have just different colors. Jeff,
Anachrony?
no,
Oh.
but good guess on borrowing resources. Almost no variability. Even the 2 maps have just barely different colors. I don't understand why on earth this game is number 1. Natalie.
Brass? Lancashire?
Oh, Jeff, you want to come?
Birmingham?
Oh, we'll give it to you. Yes, Brass Birmingham. Birmingham, correct. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yes.
All right, Charlie or D Dog says, cardboard Tetris simulator. Nowhere near as enjoyable as the hype would lead you to believe.
Cardboard.
Tetris.
Next, Too Much Good says, too many choices can make a game not fun. This makes the players take a lot of thinking time on their turn.
Wow. Well said.
You take a lot of
Concise.
this. It's like
Very
it's like
concise.
here's what it actually is. It says 2 with a TO.
Yeah.
So it's like too many choices. Too many choices can make a game not fun, comma. This makes the players, comma, take a lot of thinking time on their turn.
Wow. Just really concise and
They're really
to the point.
concise. All right, Eager Beaver says,
Hey.
it's not nearly as constricting as Agricola. As a masochist, I usually need to feel severe pain/struggle for a game to resonate with me. This game was a snooze fest and provided no sense of challenge. I'd rather play Agricola, which is harder, in my opinion, to play well. Jeff.
I don't know, Feast for Odin.
A Feast for Odin.
Duh.
Tetrisy game
Sorry, a
that
Feast
Yes.
of Odin.
yeah, you're eating Odin.
I was like, patchwork? I was like, no one's going to compare Agricola to patchwork.
True. I'm going to read the last one for you, though. It's from Led Volta. It says, would rather do anything else. The bloated bog standard Rosenberg patented passive-aggressive worker placement wallows amidst the bloated conversion complexity and results in AP that is both ample and ultimately ineffectual. If the theme was watching paint dry, then I could at least award it points for theme mechanic integration. Vikings have never been so dull. So you would have got
Got
it.
a lot to
Brutal.
say.
All right, here we go. And the third one from Aaron Pound.
Okay.
How is this piece of shit so popular?
Now,
You guys know it from
Let's just
there?
take a guess.
Take
Let's
a
just
guess.
take a guess.
You can both
Shit.
come back. You know what? You get 2 for 1 here. You get 2 for 1. Truck says, this game is for hipster douchebags or mother-in-laws. I think you have a chance with that one.
Hipster douchebags or mother-in-laws.
Mother-in-laws.
Those mother-in-laws. They always wanna
Those
play
two things are
games.
together. They're either it's for douchebags
Yeah.
or mother-in-law, and so on in that fashion.
And so on that.
I think there's a very slight chance you can get it. That's the 2 for. So how is
Douchebags.
this piece of shit so popular? And
It's
this game is
so
for
popular.
hipster douchebags or mother-in-laws. You
Mother-in-laws
always see
and
mother-in-laws and hipster douchebags hanging out together.
Yeah.
Want to play it. Hipster douchebags would want to play a popular game with their mother-in-laws.
Yeah.
You think they have to play? I think it's a group of mother-in-laws or hipster douchebags,
Or
I feel like I
hipster
can
or you think
think
they
of
have to play
stuff
it
for
together.
mother-in-laws, but I'm trying to like pair that with hipster douchebag.
Okay, well, let me move on. Let's
Hipster
move on.
douchebag. All right.
Cubist guy says, gameplay is boring. Scoring is complicated. Art is beautiful, but doesn't make up for poor game design. Very solitaire with absolutely no player interaction. And good for mother-in-laws.
Good for and hipster douchebags.
By the way, good for mother.
Hipster douchebags.
Damn.
Tangerine says, boring game. Boring, extremely random gameplay. Seems to rely on component attractiveness like a crutch to substitute for actual gameplay substance.
Looks good.
Oh, Natalie's about to ding.
Just
I'm probably wrong.
Natalie.
And Everdell.
Okay?
I was thinking about saying Everdell actually.
You should say it. It's wrong. Leech2999
Oh,
says,
there's more.
finally played this. I enjoyed it. After one play, I can tell that this would eventually become very samey and wear out its welcome quickly. Nothing I desire to own. Dropped my rating to a 1 because the normies voting this best innovative and best strategy game. It's capital H-A, capital H-A. But it's not, there's no space. It's not,
Okay.
with an exclamation
Have we
mark.
both played this game?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Man.
Yeah, several times.
I don't know.
Several times. All right, there's still one more. The last one. This is for Jeff. The worst multiplayer solitaire I've ever experienced. You are not engaged when it's the other player's turn. You cannot, this is from Can Do. You cannot make any plans to speed up the game. Random food, random birds. Yeah, the components are pretty. The bird art and dice tower are nice, and it's somewhat educational,
yep.
but that doesn't make it a decent game.
douchebags.
BGG has lost its mind and credibility over the plop of
Man.
bird poop.
I understand
Man,
now.
all right,
Hipster
wing- yeah,
douchebags and
wingspan.
mother-in-laws like
Got it.
birds.
Jeff got it.
All right,
Wingspan. Jeff got
yeah.
it. All right.
Well, I'm just rewarded to not. I'm gonna try to guess earlier this time. Then you can have the
Not a sock puppet lol says.
Oh, okay.
Lots of sock puppets rating this game an 8 with no comment at all. In fact, this game is terrible.
Sock puppets.
Not a sock puppet lol.
Not a sock puppet.
Not a, that's his. Yeah, but lots
Is
of
it a
sock
sock
puppets.
puppet? No, it's
I wonder
not.
if this guy. We should look up not a sock puppet lol and see if
See,
all
like,
his comments are
mention
related to
that,
sock
yeah.
puppets.
Yeah.
All right. Kiger Spirit says, this game is for sadists. How is this fun when all people try to do is screw over the other players? All right. Joel in Mortaja says, absolutely overrated. The most boring board game ever. Don't waste your money on 100 squares and a bunch of cardboard.
100 squares.
100 squares.
100 squares and a bunch of cardboard. Don't waste your money on that. All you try to do is screw over the other players.
Have we played these games?
Oh,
Played this
yeah.
game?
You both have played this a ton of times.
Ooh, 100
Played
squares.
100 squares?
Proper Play says, I absolutely do not understand what the fuss is all about. Yeah, visually, the tiles look completely unlike Portuguese tiles, and mechanically, it's absolutely dull and very unpredictable. If there's any strategy to this game, I fail to see what it is. At least it plays quick. Jeff.
Azul.
Blue.
Oh,
It
I thought
is
that, but I
Azul.
was like, that doesn't have 100
The Portuguese
tiles.
tiles was a giveaway.
Oh,
Portuguese.
I misunderstood.
What do you mean?
Nothing, never mind.
Go ahead. No, I didn't hear this.
No, wait, you said 100 what?
Squares.
Squares
Okay.
and a bunch of cardboard.
I was picturing a grid.
Me
when
too.
you're-
I was
yeah.
picturing like a board with a grid of squares.
Got it. Ready?
Yeah.
Alpenlappen from Virginia
Okay, shake your
says,
hand, bro.
I hate this piece of crap look fest. I'm going to talk like this for this one.
Look fest.
It's a luck fest. Luck.
Oh, luck.
Luck.
Oh, you
Like
have
press
an
your
accent?
luck.
Like luck.
Yeah, I got a little draw for this one.
Yeah.
I hate this piece of crap luck fest. There's been nothing that has ever made this fun for me. Even when I win, I feel like I lost. When my friends make me play this, I make sure they
You
know
already
they owe
know
me a
it.
favor. This game is the board game equivalent of getting kicked in the nuts.
I'm just going to guess.
Do it.
Okay.
Because I had one that went all the way to Wingspan, and that was easy. So,
Jeff.
the Quacks of Quedlinburg.
The Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Did I get it?
Yeah.
What?
Wolfgang Varsh.
Dang.
Varsh.
Let's read the last one.
How'd you get it?
The rest of them. Probably because of Luckfest.
was the first time. The first thing that came to my head when I heard luck.
Cow Tippa. I think we've had Cow Tippa.
Cow Tippa.
I really do. Overlong, multiplayer solitaire, almost completely luck based. I'd rather play Monopoly or Dice in the Alley. Stay away!
Dice
I
in the
hate,
alley.
hate,
Gotcha.
hate, 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 hate
Whoa.
this game.
Wow.
I hate Uncle Joe.
Eleanor 357 says, no ducks. False advertising.
No ducks.
Is there a duck on the front?
Quack.
Quackland.
Oh,
Quack.
never mind. That was done.
Apparently, Quacks of Quedlinburg advertises ducks. I don't think so. Eggmondo says, random luckfest. How this gets Kennerspiel is absolutely beyond me. What a
Harsh.
disappointment
Ever.
of not a game really. Sitting down and rolling a d6 against your friends 50 times in a row, highest total wins, has similar appeal. Or just watch the paint dry. Up to you.
It's the Varsh.
Right.
He Yaris the spiels.
Yeah.
You know?
The last one from Sci-Fi 66 says, light bag builder with push your luck. Hated it. At heart, it's pure luck. The bag is illusory control. X random nonsense. X heads down MPS. Indeed, you are not supposed to look at your fellow gamers' boards as you could be cheating. Really? This is the opposite of what I want in a party game. Quacks is in that category for me. Too long.
Wow.
Rude.
This is good. The game.
I know, he's doing a good
Yeah.
job.
Good job, Steve? Question mark.
These are they're
found good
getting
stuff.
funnier. All right, here we go. Lou Main,
Lou Main.
not Lo Main,
Not
but his
Lo Main.
name is Lou.
Good Lo Main.
Yeah.
Lou Main says
Okay.
it says yawn,
Yawn.
fart,
Okay.
change my pants.
Oh my god.
I gotta go. Oh my gosh, you gonna ding in with that one? All
I
right.
don't think so.
Yawn.
I'll wait one more.
Aran says so boring.
So,
Feels like it takes forever to play. Unreadable cards and tiles.
ooh.
The game is mostly sitting around watching other players take their turn with no interaction and very little actual strategy. The only real strategy is figuring out how to never be asked to play this again. If I had unfortunately bought this, I would have thrown it in the trash rather than giving it away. I don't think I've ever hated playing a game this much. The clue in that one is unreadable cards and tiles.
Yeah, I feel like we've reviewed something where like the text is so tiny.
Marcus Lind 1 says, too much randomness. It's not too much randomness. It's too much. He's talking
Too much randomness.
Too much randomness
I
and multiplayer
declare
solitary for my tastes. There also seems to be economic snowball effects and runaway leader problems, which is particularly problematic since so much depends on luck. More skilled players may disagree, of course. The theme is original and well implemented, and components are good quality.
This is hard.
This is hard. I think the clues to put together so
Yeah.
far are
They're
unreadable
there.
cards and tiles, and the theme is original.
This is probably good for the listeners.
Yeah.
This is probably good for the listener that, yeah, because they can get this faster than.
Yeah.
We haven't played a game like this in a while. I feel like I don't remember any games.
Well,
Same.
this is, I mean, you're not
This is
getting
hard.
much.
Yeah.
There's
that's
not.
true.
You're not
Pretty-
getting a
But
ton
I do
to go
remember
on.
us talk like there's a game that's like I remember I think it was Ryan was talking about like the text is so small I had to like go look like lean over the table. I don't even know if this is the game, but anyway.
I think I know what you're talking about. This isn't that game. Hazered, like lasered, but
Hazered.
hazered. A game I almost like because it really leans into its theme. I like building the rooms with silly names, but the worker placement is too limiting. Half the turns, you just don't do much. And there's the reputation requirements, which I didn't notice the first time playing. And that makes a lot of things a chore to do rather than outwitting the other players.
Ah, fuck. I feel like we should know
And
this.
then he wrote in here, as an English person, how dare they call our room silly names? Actually, he said, how dare they call our room names silly? All right, the last one.
think we should know this.
X300
I know.
GTX says, this is the most overrated game I've ever played. The production quality is great, but the game just isn't fun. There's almost zero player interaction, and the setup, upkeep of everything takes a sizable chunk of time. For me, there's nothing at all thematic about this game. All you're doing is grabbing tiles that say cricket on them and inviting people to the event, aka just selecting cards you draw at random to go to the event based on their stats and the workers you have available. I would never play this game again, and I'm glad I was able to easily sell it. The game makes me not trust BGG ratings. There's nothing about the gameplay that deserves it to be over 8.0, and it seems like everyone is just hopping on the bandwagon for some reason.
Ding.
Jeff.
It's obsession.
Yes.
The text does suck because it's in that weird calligraphy.
I thought that maybe it wasn't small. It was like in a fancy font or something.
It's a little bit
Yeah.
tough to read that.
It is, yeah.
Yep.
now I want
Book
to. Now I'm
sucks.
trying to think back at some of the clues.
Yeah,
There's
to
not a
read,
lot to
not
go on.
interaction. Yeah.
The theme is really well into
feel
a lot
like-
of the
Yeah.
theme
The
being
one
integrated
before,
well.
I feel like we should have got it, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
why.
it was like
The reputation requirements, the worker placement is tough. Building
yeah, the
rooms with
rooms.
names,
The
with silly
rooms,
names.
yeah, that was
I
what I
did
feel
not.
like we
I was
should've
like, I was like, I don't remember that.
Okay, let's move on.
I played that on Board Game
Egg
Arena
Timer
recently.
says, "Oh, did you? That's a good game." Egg Timer says, "Took over 2 hours to read the rules and set up the game. At that point, any interest in actually playing had evaporated."
Okay, I
Okay,
can think a lot
what
of
the
those.
fuck? What's wrong with you?
Marcel Pole says,
Yep.
luck fest galore. Game revolves around card combos to accelerate your economy. If you draw them, that is. Exploding Kittens is a better game. Giorgio Paco.
How's this thing in?
Jeff.
Everdell.
Oh,
Ooh.
Correct.
I'm getting some early ones.
Good job, Jeff. Yeah, you are. When you're getting them quick.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep reading them. Giorgio Paco says, too much text on the cards. Impossible to follow the text of the opponent's cards and try to react accordingly.
Yeah.
It's not my game. Newbie Nerd says, if the game did not look so beautiful, the average rating would probably be below 5. Great artwork and great quality of
on,
resources,
below 5.
but terrible gameplay. And More Lil Buenita says, what a piece of shit. Another game in the vein of Wingspan of making obvious combos with zero decisions. The huge tree makes 0 sense too. All right.
The tree is.
The tree is a little
just
ridiculous.
fancy.
Here we go. Too many times having to look up rules in a disorganized rule book.
Whoa.
Too many repetitive
Not-
turns.
Too many or too many?
This actually is too many.
All right.
Too many other things I'd rather do with my time, like stand in line at the DMV, or we would call that the Secretary of State, or have an audit by the IRS. Ooh. Update. Gave it one more try. The game is miserable. The owner decided to try and sell it after we played. He was sick of it too. That was SJS 1971.
Do some states call it the DMV and some states call it Secretary of State?
I think
It's
most
just what it
states
is.
have a Secretary of State. We don't. We just don't have a DMV.
Oh, it's
our
like two
DMV
separate
stuff
things?
happens at the Secretary of
Oh,
State.
okay.
I think other states do, but I think if you tell them we do all of our automobile stuff at the Secretary of State, I think they'd look at you like, what? No, we have a DMV, but we
Right.
don't actually have a Department of Motor
I
Vehicles.
feel
It's
like I
just the
only
Secretary
know
of
what
State.
the DMV is from
TV
media
shows and stuff.
books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most states I think have a DMV.
Yeah, I think when you could just call it that because everybody kind of knows what it. Everybody
Yeah.
knows what it is, or at least knows what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so Javelin 98 says, one of the worst games I've ever played. Badly unbalanced, nearly unwinnable, and with a dizzying array of various fiddly dice. If I saw a copy of this game lying in the street, I wouldn't walk on by. I'd run it over.
Come on.
These first two clues are very good.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff in there that you could get, I think.
All right.
Serene Factorial says, next to no decisions. Stand in place, attack every turn, hope you don't roll bad. Am I playing this wrong?
Pause for a second.
Yes.
Dice. What did he say about character? What was the thing?
Yeah, the first one.
No, I think it was
the second one. Badly unbalanced, nearly unwinnable, with a dizzying array of various fiddly dice. If I saw a copy of this game, I wouldn't walk on by. I'd run it over.
Fiddly dice. You just stand in place and fight.
And hope you don't die.
The first one says, too many times having to look up rules in a disorganized rule book, too many repetitive turns, too many other things I'd rather do with my time, like stand in line at the DMV.
We've played this game, obviously.
I know Natalie's played it a ton. I don't know if you've actually played it before. You know it for
you
sure.
Just stand there.
But I don't know if you've played it, which is weird to me.
Oh, he hasn't played it? Okay.
Standing and fighting game.
But I mean, you know this game.
The dude's on a map game like Loads of Water dude.
It's basically Lord of the Water. Should I go
I
on?
played it a ton of times.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, very many times.
Very many times.
What?
Okay, you can keep going.
Okay. Dudibus. Monsters, too random. Encounters, unbalanced. We were either destroying everything easily or getting monster and scenario combinations that were impossible to beat. And the last one, Ezekin.
Played it a bunch.
Played a few times. The game was always swingy. And it also doesn't scale well with a number of players. It's also too expensive for what it is. I mean, it's more expensive than similar games with miniatures. And here you just play with poker chips. Quite ridiculous. Natalie.
Too many bones?
Yes. So think of the first clue.
At least once.
Too many
but yeah.
times, too many repetitive turns, too many other... Yeah. You have played it once?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we played it like right away.
Like immediately when I first got it?
Yeah.
All right. There's only a couple more. Is there two? Okay. Horrible. Wait.
And now you got that one.
Cotomel.
Kodachrome.
Okay.
Kodachrome. Horrible hodgepodge of mechanics. No interaction. Modern Euro. Basic trend chasing abomination. Okay. Rex Haha says a meh game with overproduced components. Altimoratio says, oh boy, highly uninteresting game. Leans so hard on tactical play that the game hinders you on doing any forward planning beyond a few turns. Strategic play sullied by arbitrary decisions at tactical level. AmRam555 says, most overrated game I own. Sadly disappointed given the positive reviews. Hybrid worker placement / deck building that seems underdeveloped and not engaging. Jeff.
The Lost Ruins of Arnak.
The Lost Ruins of Arnak, correct. Pluses are it's cheap and a good production value. And Deotar says, one of the blandest games I've ever played with very shallow mechanics. The theme is fun, but far too lightly applied and doesn't make any sense with the mechanics, especially the whole exploring temples part. The deck building is pathetic. You only end up adding 2 to 3 cards per your deck the whole game. And the fact that the item row is intentionally designed to seize up is incomprehensible to me.
You suck at
You
this game.
suck.
You added 2 cards.
You
suck.
We're watching Big Bang Theory, and they just did the episode where they sang that song about the boulder from...
Oh, yeah, from Indiana Jones.
Jones.
Yeah, that is really funny. All right. Tetranitride. Well, they say they're from Groningen, Netherlands.
From
I'd rather be shot in the neck than play this again. If that doesn't tell you what the game is, then I don't know what
damn
to
it.
do.
Would I
Paint the
rather...
roses.
Right, exactly.
All right, Tic-Tac-Toe. I've never understood the acclaim or love, even as an introductory game. Incredibly boring, frustratingly limited, and plotting in terms of agency. There's a million games you can use to convince your friends that board games are fun, and this isn't one of them. Monkey on the Rock says all components, no gameplay. Plus, people get mad when I reserve cards to block them.
Oh, hold on. Pause. I got it.
Serve cards.
Jeff.
Splendor.
Splendor.
Oh, yeah.
He says, special mention for this comment. Here's the comment. This game is grossly overrated. It's by Buffalwog. Grossly overrated and essentially unplayable without the expansion to spice things up a bit. As the most boring possible permutation of a resource collection plus engine building game, it also might be a quintessential example of why the entire genre falls short for me. I think a game with crackheads collecting copper wire would be more exciting than straight out of the box Splendor.
That would be funny.
I think that would be interesting.
Hey, try it.
Yeah, I think that would.
Is there any more? Was that 10?
There are more. I don't know that you would get. I don't know that you would I don't think you would have a equal chance to get the next one. It's raw. Natalie, I don't think you'd be able to get.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be able to get that one. Let's go to.
How many more does he
There's
have?
2 more.
Okay.
One of the Goliadkin says
Goliad.
one of the worst games I have ever played. Sorry, not sorry. X
Bit sorry.
Fergux says terrible balance. No compensation for players who take actions late. Morty CZ says, I don't like worker placement, and this is the worst worker placement game. And worker placement is one word both times.
Worker placement.
Worker placement. Hexagon 95 says, a very nice board game, but I don't like when a manufacturer makes a second edition and your first edition with all the expansions becomes meaningless.
Oh, that's probably a big clue.
It's a big clue. That's a pretty big clue.
Simon probably made it.
Hazard again says the deck building is dull, the resource conversion dull, the worker placement is worker placement, the bidding battles could be more exciting.
Beetle battles?
It's just a mishmash of stuff. Well, at least the scores usually stop around 12 points. That's the last one, so you should probably get it. Yep. Natalie?
Lords of Vegas?
Oh, no.
Dune.
Yes, Jeff. Dune Imperium. Correct.
Natalie, you better get a little
You're
more
cute,
points.
Natalie. All right, here's the last one.
All right.
Skiveron says, has more luck than snakes and ladders.
Snakes on a plane.
Snakes and ladders, eh?
More luck than snakes and
Isn't
ladders.
it shoots and ladders?
That's true.
Yeah.
But there is a snakes and ladders, too.
Snakes kind of sound like a snake. I don't know.
Baz is Baz says,
Okay.
what a fucking hot... He didn't say fucking. Let me try that. Sorry.
No, say
I was paraphrasing. What a hot mess of
That's
a
what he
game.
wanted to say.
Take a pile of garbage, cover it up with a whole bunch of stuff, sub-mechanics, asymmetry, add some fancy minis, and you have a game? No, you have a turd with a golden flag on it. I won first time I played against experienced players, despite having no idea what was going on. Would rather have played throw a dice and see who gets the highest value.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck
Hey, are you shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
Hey, would you? Hey, come on over for game night. What are we gonna do? Roll a dice?
Shut
yeah, I'd rather
the
do that.
fuck
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
Shut your fucking mouth. Shut up.
Shut the
Shut
fuck up.
Shut up.
Shut
the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
What is happening?
Postia says, soulless cube pusher, boring, no interaction, straightforward, no real choices, hefty dose of luck, imbalanced. Kill this. To make it even worse, the board you play on is actually pointless and not needed. This game is a prototype of overproduced games with very little game in them. Great example of how to make an overproduced mess, but it does look pretty.
I listened to almost none of that. Do you ever get partway through something like, I didn't listen to
What
any of
did
that.
he say?
I'll just keep going. Do you know it?
Danzo says,
No.
this is the last one, extremely dull track advancement optimization game. Little to no meaningful interaction. Civilization theme does not come through at all.
No. Balls.
Natalie, here's your clue. We played it once. We fucking loved it. We never played it again.
We did?
Yeah, we loved it. We played it once. We were like, this is awesome. We talked about it on the podcast. We're like, this is so great. Jeff, this is awesome. We never played it again.
Have I played it?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you own it. Well, I don't know. But I think
Just go up tracks. What's the fucking tracks game?
Tapestry?
Yes, Tapestry.
Oh, yeah.
Civilization theme,
bunch,
right?
yeah.
Yep.
Shut the fuck
Shut
up.
the fuck
Shut
up.
your fucking mouth.
Shut the
Shut
fuck
up.
up. So that's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at Gamecasters or at Mad Board Gamer. Both of those accounts service the podcast. We also have a Facebook group. Just search Gamecasters and you'll find us there. You can also email us at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com. If you like the show, we'd love it if you consider giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen that allows you to rate us. We've also got a Patreon. If you want to support the show, feel free to head on over to patreon.com/thegamecasters. There's also also a merch store where you can find all sorts of different Gamecasters Mad Board Gamer gear. So head on over to the link tree on the Gamecasters Instagram page or the merch channel in our Discord server to find the link to our Bonfire merch store. So, for Natalie and Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, I'm Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everybody.